Yo, that might have been a little loud. Welcome back to Blueprint presents ThrowBLKs. I'm J5 here with MC. It's November.
Another monthly special on the holidays.
Yes, sir. Another one on the holidays. Well, next time we come back, I'm going to put like some little garlands and shit. I bought it already, so I'm going to decorate the table and shit.
We can finally debut our Snoop on the stoop.
Yes, because we were not able to do that
last year.
But I have him. He's safe.
Okay.
And we're going to be able to debut him this year.
Yeah, let's hang out right there.
Yeah, we're going to have decorations and stuff. So we're back again. Thanks to everybody who listened to last week's episode, or episode 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago?
No, around 2 weeks ago. Don't Steal This podcast.
They loved you on Married at First Sight. So I think I'm gonna just sign you up for it.
Just automatically sign me up for it?
Yes.
How do you know if I'm available? Busy guy now.
It doesn't matter. They just take over your life. It doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere.
I mean, how do you know that? How is it? Oh, Apple, yo, Apple, please, bro.
If ever they pull up and say we're coming to LA, Mark, you're automatically getting,
How do you know I'm ready for that? I feel like
you said you was last week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Things can change in 2 weeks. You
know
what I'm saying?
Well, it doesn't matter.
I feel like I've given that care package idea a lot more thought.
Doesn't matter. You're going.
I don't know if I'm ready for reality TV.
I think you'd be really good in reality TV. Again, you got the voice for it. You got the personality for it. I could see you doing like the long, drawn out, dramatic camera cuts and scenes. And I think that's why we need to see you on that show. And everyone liked the idea. They liked the segment on Do Not Steal This podcast.
Some people on YouTube even dropped their own care package. I was like,
oh,
wow,
yeah,
shout out to the tubers.
Shout out to YouTubers.
Yeah.
We do this for y'all. Like, this is like, I love how much the people who watch our YouTube like really fuck with us.
Mm-hmm.
And they fuck with us from the ground level because we're about to get bigger next year for sure.
More debating topics. I don't know if we're gonna be doing more rap beefs in 2026.
I don't want to. After this episode, I just want to be done with it.
Because this is chock full of them. A lot of battles going on right now. You just covered or predicted what's going to be happening this weekend on the Survivor Series on the A Show.
Yeah, I did that today, and I also talked about and I want to get your thoughts on it because it'll be like yesterday's news by the time we get to Don't Steal This podcast again.
Yeah, everybody will be hearing this on. We're doing a Black Friday drop, so shout out to everybody. I hope you have found something to buy today on Black Friday.
Ain't shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't getting nothing.
Nothing at all. Not one finesse.
I want a 4K player, and they're not even dropping those low enough.
They still make those joints.
4K players?
Yeah.
Did you think physical media is dead? That's your problem. That's y'all niggas' problems, is that you think physical media is dead. I am all in on physical media next year.
Are they making are they the older Bluetooth 4K players, or are they like brand new ones? Like what's the new tech that is in a 4K player for Bluetooth?
Stream anywhere,
okay.
and region, it's not region locked. So I can watch any movie from
okay.
That's what I'm looking for. Panasonic makes the best ones.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a non-region locked Panasonic. It's like $500 right now. I'm just like, I'm looking at it on Best Buy. It's on sale for like $4. I'm just like, do I do this or not? So
it's good that Best Buy still carries. It's good that Best Buy still carries those though.
They don't really carry the actual movies, but they carry the players. Which is funny. But
interesting. Okay.
I'm all in on physical media next year. That's like my new thing.
Yeah.
I want to build a collection because I think, looking at the future and my family and my I'm gonna have kids one day and stuff like that. I want them to have something that's lasting and that's forever. And I think for a 4K player works.
Yeah, man. You know how many times we were kids and we looked at our mom and dad's little music setup and be like, man, if that's passed down to me, that hi-fi setup that they had way back in the day. These days, I don't know if you have a big hi-fi setup that you can pass down to your kids because
you could. I mean, again, they still sell hi-fi stuff. I saw a receiver for like $400, which isn't actually too bad.
Yeah.
I'm just hooking up the speakers to it. I just think the ease of use that we have with like Sonos and things like that, it makes it easy. But when you think about it and you really drill down on like and we're talking like sound and hi-fi shit, but like it does sound better coming out of like
10 times better.
Speaker.
Yeah, 10 times better. If you're willing to drop the bread to be able to have like a official hi-fi system and not just anything that sits on Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything like that. Oh yeah, you'll be blown away. You will literally be the commercial of the dude sitting in the chair and he's playing the hi-fi. I want that experience though.
But I've actually in the past couple of weeks been getting into that and looking into hi-fi sound systems, stuff like that.
You're gonna buy a center, a left, or right. You're surrounded on that.
I want to do that.
It's a sinkhole, man. It's an amazing sinkhole. But I was like, I know as soon as I get started with it, I'm just gonna be drowned by it.
Yeah, I mean, fuck with me, man. We RNC. Fuck with
I don't
me, man.
know, like an RNC, a hi-fi system.
You can start small and then work your way back up, bro. Like the thing is that I want to start with the receiver.
Yeah.
Then I want to get the speaker system, and
Yeah.
the woofers can come last. I don't really need the woofers that much. Like our living room, you've been in it. It's not super huge. Like I don't need the fucking I don't need the floor to be shaking.
I don't know. You might need it.
I don't really need it.
What if you just get it? Play Heat from 1990.
I watched
5.
Heat on
You watched
Sunday.
Heat?
It was
Okay.
me and my wife watched Heat. It was her first time watching it.
Really?
She if you've seen Heat and she hadn't seen Heat, that's hilarious.
I bought Heat.
She finally saw Heat and we watched it, and I was like listening to the shootout, the second shootout of the heist.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's loud.
You were ducking down? You was ducking down?
I was ducking, but I was like, I want to feel in danger. I wasn't really in danger.
Get the sub.
It felt like digital audio feels to me really subdued. It feels really kind of limited. It feels like it's shooting to a wall, right? Like it feels like when a gunshot sounds off in like John Wick or something like that, it hits a wall. Right? But when it's in a hi-fi speaker, it sounds like it's like it feels like you're in like the room with it. And it takes like a really. You guys had to hear the difference in order to get it, but like I feel like we're so locked into Bluetooth, plugging it into like I still like plugging it into a digital out. Like a lot of TVs are missing digital out plugs now.
Yeah,
and you have to find different ways to transmit. So I'm looking for physical. I'm all in on hi-fi next year. I want to do it.
It's the biggest. It's for those that love music the way that we love music. It's one of the biggest advantages that you can have towards actually listening to your music and enjoying your music. And you just talked about physical media. I hope that in 2026, I mean, they're already reporting things that vinyls and CDs are selling a lot more than some digital albums. We might get back to that. I don't know where you're going to throw a CD. But vinyl has been there for a couple of years.
PS5, I guess. I don't know. But I want to be able to watch, like, I got the Friday the 13th box set. And I can't watch it unless I, like, take my PS5 out my room and put it in there. Like, and it's 4K disc. And I have, like, all the John Wicks in 4K. I ordered one battle after another in 4K. Like, there's a bunch of shit that I want to watch in 4K. I got the TV for it. Literally. Let's get the sound for it. So
you don't got to worry about scenes getting removed. You don't got to worry about, oh shit, Spectrum went out like it does all the fucking time here in the Valley. God damn. Where's the fiber?
My internet actually doesn't go out as much as yours. I think it's like your neighborhood. I think it's an area.
I don't know what. I thought my neighborhood would be well enough that they would make sure that no internet goes out, but apparently not.
You live by Jits. You live close to the college.
That's why I thought that they'd be all right. I was like, the Jits gonna make sure no internet goes down.
They running up the Brazzers and the Pornhub.
Put the Fortnite down, gang. I'm trying to watch some fucking TV.
They're running that shit the fuck.
Y'all not even spanking shit on Fortnite. Y'all got the Tyler the Creator skin. Just to have 0.2 KD. Come on, bro. Doing the dancey dance. Yo, the fact that Fortnite is literally adding records and the records like blow up as soon as they're getting added to Fortnite, insane.
I think I'm a little less, what's the word? Jaded at Fortnite than a bunch of my contemporaries are. Like I feel like
it's because how well they do it?
I think there's a respect shown to what they do. It's not just like, I think there might have been a point where they didn't really show it a lot of respect, but I think like I'm noticing with like the Lisa skin that's coming out, like that one's pretty dope. The Tyler Creator skin's pretty dope. Playboy Cardi's gonna be in there in a couple weeks.
Is he?
The Simpsons thing was awesome. They just recreated Springfield.
Yeah.
And another big one was Kill Bill. Is coming.
Oh yeah, Kill Bill.
Yeah, Kill Bill skins are coming along with the story chapter.
Wow,
coming to Fortnite, and it's like people are like fucking Fortnite, and I'm just like, yeah, there's definitely like an element of that, you know, of there being some annoyance to the game, but like there's never been anything in media that is just everything, right?
Yeah,
and like yes, there's good things about that, and yes, there's awful, terrible things about that, but it's a toy box. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I just harped on physical media. This is a completely different game that if your internet doesn't work, you can't play. But like ultimately, Fortnite's cool because of the respect that they show to old stuff like that.
Sure.
So, and they preserve it. Like Quentin Tarantino is not just collaborating with anybody.
Yeah.
He's collaborating with Fortnite, and it works. And I think that it's cool. And so with things like that, like I can see why it's such a phenomenon, and it's continue to be bigger and bigger. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So hopefully they put these songs that we're going to talk about on the. No?
I had the face of that white dude, you know, the meme of that white dude. I was like, I don't know if anything for Blueprint or
Super Ugly on.
Nah, hell nah. They might hit the well, we'll talk about the memification of some of these records very soon. But you know,
for sure.
There's
so
a possibility.
If you guys didn't know, let me clear my throat here. We're doing Stillmatic versus Blueprint, Stillmatic and Blueprint today.
We'll say and.
ThrowBLKs. We'll do and. It's good. We're going to be doing it a little bit differently, okay? So we're going to take you, and the thing about this beef is that it started so much longer than people can remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a beef that started really kind of from other beefs. Mm-hmm. It was inherited from other beefs, and it's
the beef
from the beef
of the 90s.
Yeah. And these are I guess you could say these are the survivors of this beef. Like, these
Absolutely.
are the people that survived it. Yep. And it's really it's a story about a kind of the student in a lot of ways trying to become the teacher and trying to become the mentor, and then him going at the mentor, and what came out of that. I think it's a story of, and it's a time that we don't remember. A lot of people don't really recall, because Jay-Z at the time isn't Jay-Z now, right? And it's him, but he's not number one.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the biggest thing to take away from this whole thing is, like, he's not number one yet. Like, he's talking like he is. And if you listen to Blueprint today, you could be like, oh, he was number one then, but he wasn't. And
that's crazy, because that's a generation removed. Blueprint is 24 years old as of 2 months ago. Yeah. You're literally talking about a complete, almost adult life that has passed.
Yeah.
And probably would not know the past few years of what had happened leading up to 2001, if not for those that have preserved that media, preserved those stories, and being able to tell it.
Yeah, I mean, and we're gonna get like deep into it. I found the timeline. Let me just say, I've scoured Reddit for like a really good timeline. And a lot of people love the history of the ThrowBLKs. We talk about like how these albums came to be, what sold, what did well. We're gonna do that today, but we're gonna do it in a timeline way, and we're gonna discuss the timeline. We're gonna go forward, and we're gonna discuss the albums, the songs, and I want to split them into categories of like impact, the party songs, the hip songs, as well as the beef, and we'll kind of get to the bottom of like how we feel about it 24 years later, and onward, like what came from it, and what's happened to it, and why I feel like it's still the best rap beef of all time.
As we should. I think these are two of the, if not the two biggest storied books out of hip hop in New York City, at least in our livelihood. Yeah. There's been many different stories and many different artists that have came before them that have influenced literally these two artists to want to rap in general. So although, there's many different stories that you can tell out of New York City hip hop, these two, I think, end up being the biggest ones out of our childhood.
Because it started the beef era. It really ignited the beef era.
Yeah.
We came out of Shiny Suit era. We East Coast, West Coast. And then we were in like the who's going to be number one, because, and we're going to talk about that. There was a very large hole
left in the game.
Left in the game after 94. So when did you first hear Blueprint?
When did I first hear Blueprint?
Yeah.
Probably like, I highly doubt that it was like every single record on September 11th. It probably took me some time. So September 11th, I'm 10 years old.
Because the way we consume music was different in 2001. And this goes to people who like listen to our show that are younger, who might not even like recognize that like a lot of the stuff, like a lot of how we heard about things was through the radio.
Yeah.
Or, I can remember hearing Takeover and me being like, what the hell is playing? Because it's no introduction. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And we consume music a lot differently back then.
Yeah, the entire project probably like a couple months later. I'll always remember how big of a Jay fan I was when I was originally doing like my homework and wanting to start building an actual library. So that was a time that 150 songs on a CD player was like, I own every single fucking song in the world. Yeah, at 10 years old, that was really huge. So at the time I was on the Rap and Hip Hop Forum on GameFAQs, and I was learning a lot more about Jay, hearing a lot more records, and I'll never forget, there is this person that I highly doubt that I'll ever talk to again in my life. The username was Sweet Pimp 23.
Sweet Pimp 23, if you listening.
There's no way you're listening. If there's no way you're listening right now.
23.
He was also in New York City. He was like, "Yeah, man, I can tell you listen to a lot of Jay." Because at the time, people would share their AIM names and blah blah blah. It was pretty free in 2001, 2002 to just be able to converse about rap.
Wasn't that crazy? Because like your parents always used to be afraid of you talking to people online, and now that's literally all we do. And that's how we find our friends.
And I was 11 years old typing up with grown ass adults about rap. Hey, what is it? Just talking about rap. So he was like, "Hey man, I know you listen to a little Jay a lot. Have you ever heard Ether before?" I'm like, "No, what's Ether?"
Bro, that is such a crazy way to start to go off.
It was.
You ever heard Ether?
Yeah. So I'll tell the story of how I had heard.
Way.
I swear to God. He was like, yeah, man, you're a big J fan, huh? I was like, yeah.
He lined you. He lined you. He lined your ass.
I'll never forget. It was the K-Slay version. I have to find this K-Slay tape. It might be the one K-Slay tape I don't have. I just remember K-Slay. I hear the ether for the first time, and I'm in my head. I'm like, oh fuck. But even K-Slay is like, oh shit. I think Nas is coming back, y'all. I'll never forget that K-Slay version of Ether. I have to find that mixtape. I don't know when K-Slay put it on any of his mixtapes, but that was around the same time.
11-year-old Mark. What? You've been on my dick. How do you feel like hearing that? Like,
turn them down, house speakers down a bit, or at least put some headphones in. Damn wrong, bro. I'll never forget. He sent the file. I forgot how long it took. It might have been like a couple minutes because you had to do peer-to-peer file sending.
That was a long, by 2001 standard, that's a long file to put on the internet.
Like,
to share.
Exactly.
Like,
at least with P2P, I was like, can we do this? Damn, you could send these through the internet like
remember, you could listen to the song like before it was done downloading, so like you could listen to like 5 seconds and it would keep repeating until it like downloaded more.
You listen to it early just to double check to make sure it's not no bullshit.
Make sure it's not Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, make sure you don't hear. Yeah, nah, bro.
That is crazy. Have you ever heard Ether before? Like he was trying to convert you.
It didn't work. It didn't work at the time. I was like, oh, okay. It was like a little diss. Like, damn. And then I learned about the Blueprint and learned about Stillmatic from there. But yeah, that was around my first time.
Well, I grew up. I think I've said this before countless times on this show. Like, it was a very East Coast household.
Yeah.
Like Biggie, my sister prayed to the altar of Notorious B.I.G. and Bad Boy, for better or for worse. I remember when Biggie died. She's on our kitchen floor just sobbing.
Damn.
One of my like
vivid memories.
As a kid was just her, that and Aaliyah. Like those are two like they really changed kind of.
Aaliyah was a very odd day. Like you talk about an eerie day. Yeah, Aaliyah's was definitely an eerie day.
So like when Blueprint, my sister was in California and she said, "You don't know what's going on?" And I'm like, "No." She was like, "It's Jay-Z versus Nas. This is the biggest shit in the fucking world. Jay-Z killed them."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, word." And I go off what my sister said. Like, and we'll talk about this as the show goes on. But like, she mailed me the Blueprint. Like, she bought it for me.
Wow.
And mailed it to me.
Okay.
That and like Cameron Come Home with Me. All of that stuff. She would mail me CDs.
Yeah.
Diplomatic Immunity, my sister mailed
really?
it to me. Yeah.
That's crazy.
She mailed it to me. So like, it's her fault, ladies and gentlemen, that I love Dipset the way that I do. But like, I took it out and I listened to it and like listened to the Blueprint. Like, and I'll talk about it, more as we get to it. It blew my mind. It's still one of my favorite albums of all time. At least top 5. Like, I love that album so much. It was so just revolutionary to me in terms of rap. Like, again, like, we're kids. Like, like I was born in the 90s, but like, it didn't hit me the way that Blueprint did. Like, from there, I was just like, I'm a Rockefeller.
And within our Throwback specials, we take as much time as possible to not only listen to the album and be able to present it and talk about it with everybody that listens on a track by track basis. Yeah. This might be the one album that I was just like, I don't know if there is anything new to learn about the Blueprint.
I listen to Stillmatic a lot more than I did.
You have the Blueprint because it's pretty much known front by back. I tried to find one small nuance that I could tell as a new thing. I'll talk about it when we get to that record. But I actually found one new thing that I learned playing the Blueprint.
So, let's start from the beginning. And this timeline I got from a guy on a Nas Reddit. So I sent this to. Well, Jay-Z Reddits
those aren't going to help you any better than the Nas Reddit. The Nas Reddit might be a little, as the winner, it might be a little bit more truthful.
The story, the story's always told by the winner, right? Before we start, let's just get it all out there, okay? We got to talk about who we thought won.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to put a disclaimer to just say, for anybody that's listening, this is not Rock Nation hate. If I had a do-rag that had the paper plane on it, I would wear it. We are Jay fans, but I'm also realists.
Jay is one of my favorite rappers of all time. It's him, it's Thug, it's fucking Future, Wayne. Jay's up there. Yeah, he's up there.
But we could also be truthful about what happened.
I gotta be real. He's my Jordan.
Yeah,
I gotta be real.
Yeah,
he lost.
Yeah, and it's okay to say that. It might have hurt to say. What was my biggest Nas lost year when I was just really trying to push the agenda.
But you know
of
what's
like,
crazy? Like,
like what year was it?
He never lost, man.
We tried to push that bitch heavy.
Bro,
Nas lost as best as possible. GNOZ.
The internet Nas lost narrative, and this is for like old school internet people. And
yeah,
A plus, if you listening to this, you know he's probably laughing his ass off right now. The Nas lost narrative is it only existed online. Let's just be clear, because if you walked up to a nigga in the streets, and I tried it before, I said, "Man, Nas lost," they would look.
Yo, you just walk up to somebody and be
like,
"Good morning."
They'd be like, "Well, Nas lost." No, he fucking
look at you like,
huh? Now it's you know, everyone.
Here's why he lost. I
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like though everyone thinks he lost now, but like we know the truth, and it's not just us saying it. New York saying it,
Hot 97 saying it,
97 saying it, Power 105 saying it. So we're just gonna be clear. Like we think he lost, but we
will not be trying to convince anybody of who won and who not. We're just going with what was said in the year 2001.
It's very clear who won and lost his beef, and I think it's not hard. It's okay that
he lost. Yes, exactly. On top of that, it's okay.
It's okay.
I think that's the most important thing to say.
Because
it's
at
okay.
the time, he lost to Mark, a 10-year vet. That's just what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way how Cannabis lost to LL Cool J. You often lose to someone who is better than you when you try and do that.
Well, Cannabis called that. That uppercut.
And Jay got his jaw rocked too. And he got his jaw rocked several times on Stillmatic. I was like, damn. And I was just like, I'm listening to Stillmatic like, okay, leave it alone.
Like, the funniest thing about Nas, he'll do the uppercuts and then be like, nah, man, I ain't no king. Y'all go ahead and y'all go ahead. Nas, I think that's the one thing that compared to Blueprint and Stillmatic, I played Blueprint 90 something times that I'm literally trying to have to find something brand new to be able to talk about the Blueprint. Everybody has said everything that they could say about this classic album. The new Jay Caveira, Stillmatic. I actually have listened to Stillmatic in full, front to back, for the first time in like maybe 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So that was a much different experience than it was playing Blueprint. Blueprint, I could probably just blindfold and just rap every single portion of it. Stillmatic, I actually learned some things.
I just think, and we'll get to this on Blueprint, but I want to get started with everything, but I just think that Jay's stance on Blueprint is just so interesting considering that he started this. His stance is so interesting listening to it. It's almost politician-like, and you would see how he like kind of maneuvers now.
Yeah.
Like, in the same way. It's like he talks like these people came after him, and I'm like, that's not what happened.
Well,
that's definitely not what happened at all.
Well, isn't that how it goes in this?
Yeah, you're right. You can't be Craig and Debo, and that's what Jay-Z was acting.
Oh, he was definitely trying to be flexed out, and they're like, hey.
Exactly. You can't be Craig and Debo. So I want to start this at April 19th, 1994. Okay. Nas releases Illmatic. And I'm going to insert some of the Nas fan stuff in here too. And he says, Nas releases Illmatic and rappers had to learn new rap styles to adjust.
You know,
I'm not going to do that often. I'm just going to go, because like some of it is like really editorialized. Yeah. And some of it is actually truthful. And I'm like, okay, that actually happened. But like some of it is like, huh? And I'll make sure to point it out when he says it.
Nas fans have went on a crazy ride with him throughout these past 30 years. The ups, the downs. I think that to be able to even now be in 2025 going into 2026 and realizing that, like, man, not only is he still interested in rapping, but he literally has an album dropping next month with Primo that people are going to line up for. I think being able to keep your fan base in between that time is something that, especially 30 years, is something that should be accounted for a lot more.
But as a fan, to say that he introduced the concept that multiple big name producers can contribute to one artist's album is like, it's happened. It's happened before. Michael Jackson Dangerous was like a year before this.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Niggas on there.
That is true.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You did not introduce that concept. It has been going on for years. Anyway, September 13th, 1994, Notorious B.I.G. releases Ready to Die.
That also does a similar thing.
Yes.
Multiple big name producers.
We'll get to that in a second. Nas was supposed to be on Give Me the Loot remix, but he never appeared on that remix.
Didn't the thing say?
He got too high.
and left.
He got too
Left
high
the studio
and went home.
If Nas was on Give Me the Loot, that would be. I don't even know if there's a version that exists. Probably not. But
yeah,
you get too high and miss out on Give Me the Loot. That's crazy.
That's crazy. November 30th, 1994. We're getting into kind of a peak moment of East Coast, West Coast here. Tupac sees Notorious B.I.G. allegedly upstairs at Quad Studios and gets shot in an attempted robbery. Was later told in jail that one of Biggie's homeboys shot him, which sparked the East Coast, West Coast beef.
Now, this is not. I seen a nigga throw that diamond up when them shots was fired.
No, this is not that.
This seemed a little bit more direct.
This is not that. Tupac's animosity grew against B.I.G. for not telling him who robbed him. Biggie, I think, maintains to this day that he didn't know who did it. I mean, how could we not? I just doesn't seem like Biggie wanted to slime him out, but that's a conversation for a different,
a different throwback.
And he was also paranoid that Biggie's "Who Shot You" was making fun of Tupac's situation. Which I don't think. Do you think "Who Shot You" was about Tupac?
Listen, I think things can get so easily construed in rap,
people talking,
and especially just on timing. If I knew that something just happened 2 weeks ago, and I make a record talking about "Who Shot You" and not try to at least think about the parallels in between that, I can see why timing can end up being a bad thing.
It's not like we have internet then, so "Who Shot You" could have been done
months ago
and came out. Like, these plans were very much way more drawn out than they are today.
Yeah.
There might have been some of that, but I'm also looking at it from a sense of like, it might have just been coincidental.
Yeah.
But again, that might be my Notorious B.I.G. fan in me. August 1st, 1995, Raekwon releases Only Built for Cuban Links, a throwbacks I'd love to do.
Okay.
One day.
Okay.
I think I would like to do that.
That, as far as Mafioso and as far as like big theatric albums, that's definitely one of them we can do.
But also an album I haven't listened to a lot.
In full?
Yeah. Well, I've listened to it in full, but not like Blueprint level. Not
sure.
Like that. Like,
sure.
I listened to
it
maybe 4 times, I think, and I want to listen to it a lot more to do a
throwback on
it. So.
Sure.
Nas,
show Woo some love.
Nas drops a verse on Raekwon's Verbal Intercourse that was recycled from Deja Vu. And Ghostface, in a skit on the same album, said that Biggie bit off Nas's idea of having a kid on the album cover.
Shark niggas.
Which also inflated conflict between Nas and B.I.G.
Yeah.
Which, again, as you said, things get hyped and elevated when there's other people pitting you against each other.
Yeah, and especially with Diddy as being your backing, you know, if you have a project that is just being heralded as not only a big rap project as far as what he's talking about, but also the amount of producers that helped it as well, Biggie, in some people's eyes, changed his style up a little bit. Coming out, especially on that Who's the Man soundtrack, he was a lot more hardcore. And then when Ready to Die came out, it was a little bit more
White.
tuned in. Yeah, exactly.
Frank
It was a lot more
Mafia,
Frank White. So some people think that, you know, based on what it came out months prior, it feels like you changed your style up a little bit. I'm sure Raekwon and Ghostface felt that when they made Shark Niggas. So is it cap? Not necessarily, but it's definitely going to ignite a huge flame as far as the huge, you can't even call it triangle because it's about to get even worse in New York hip hop.
Absolutely. 1996, Tupac releases All Eyes on Me. First rap double disc of its kind. And this was kind of the revenge tour for him. June 4th, 96, Tupac disses Biggie on Hit 'Em Up, but removes his outro rant about Jay-Z at the last minute. And that was a response to all the Who Shot Your stuff and all of that stuff. There's a version of this that has the Jay-Z outro on YouTube right now.
Okay.
It's not as like scathing as this timeline tries to make it, but he definitely does mention Jay-Z in it.
It's not as bad as telling Prodigy, don't you got sickle cell or something? Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, come on, bro. You killing Prodigy like that?
June 25th, 96, Jay-Z releases Reasonable Doubt. It has one Notorious B.I.G. Feature, but Nas had refused to redo the chorus for Dead Presidents 1 and 2, so Jay had to sample Nas through Searchlight Publishing, which will be very important for us in a couple of years.
Yep.
Because Nas is technically on Reasonable Doubt.
And his catalog is owned by MC Search at the time.
Yeah, but it was owned by MC Search. And again, we start to see how this beef is kind of like permeating through different beefs.
Yeah.
And Jay will mention this fact.
It's funny. Reasonable Doubt, same month as Hit 'Em Up. Because Brooklyn's Finest is also on Reasonable Doubt.
Yes.
A Biggie verse that also kind of winks at the Tupac. Yeah.
Tupac, yes.
they get it, Tupac.
Which gets it because it's like this wasn't just recorded yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was recorded months ago.
Yeah.
And it just happens to line up. And again, like this East Coast, West Coast beef is like the perfect storm of, I think, ego. I think wanting to be the best, which kind of goes into ego as well, but also just like the tensions of what gangster rap was kind of doing.
I would love
at the time.
I would love to be able to see what the actual tension was, not as a 5-year-old, but if you added like 10 years to my life, I think being able to experience that would probably be one of my more cherished moments that I would have experienced in rap, because I don't think that's duplicating itself ever again.
July 2nd, 1996. Again, these are very close in time. Nas releases It Was Written, his second album. Has a line that says, "Fake thug, no love." And this triggers Tupac because the message, the song that Nas was said that on, it has basically the story of Tupac getting shot on the song. And Tupac was like, wait, what? Like, this sounds like, is this fucking play about us? Like, the message is a strange song.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, because it's like,
amazing song, yes.
It's amazing, but it's like Nas, like, you didn't think nigga was gonna get at you about this? Like, yeah. It's so strange. Like, if you ever heard It Was Written, great album, but the message is definitely like, okay, now you're making fun of what Tupac went through.
I'll also be one of the rare guys here. You put Illmatic and It Was Written in front of me, I think I'm going more towards It Was Written more than I am Illmatic.
Really?
There's a stretch of It Was Written that is just so insane to me. From the message, I think after the message is what? Street Dreams?
I think Street Dreams, yep.
With Street Dreams ended up pissing Pac off even more. He was like, hey, isn't this my beat? And that pissed him off.
But that's where the Nas is like a Pac stan.
Yeah.
The meme derives from.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Nas, like, you stay on Pac dick. Like, I think someone's brought it up before in a verse, but it's like Nas was like obsessed almost with Tupac, or at least it seemed like that.
Well, artists at the time, Pac ends up being, if not the biggest influence as far as hip hop in the 90s. So I understand. Come on, bro.
like Nas.
But from the message into Street Dreams into I Gave You Power is crazy storytelling. Watch them niggas. I love Watch Them Niggas because I think I'm more of a firm guy than I give myself credit for. I love hearing AZ. I love hearing Foxy with Nas. Taking in Blood was crazy. I forgot he linked up with Dr. Dre for Nas Is Coming, and then Affirmative Action is right after that. Going into that, Black Girl Lost is on here. Obviously, If I Rule the World is on here with Lauryn Hill. I think if you put both in front of me, I prefer It Was Written more than I do Illmatic, but that could be a cold take.
Everybody's got their own thing. Illmatic I like it just because it's a brisk album. It's like very fast.
Yeah,
9 songs. Yeah, it's over. So still here on this album has a lot that goes into it, and this I would say this kind of sparks the kind of like he's nudging. Like Nas can't act like he wasn't nudging, but he didn't throw the fucking the ball through the window here.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say that. Like, Nas was nudging, but Jay and them, they threw the ball through the window.
Yeah. Just a little light light nudges.
So as we mentioned, Street Dreams sounds like the All Eyes on Me beat. So like Nas had to release a remix with the beat changed with R. Kelly.
Now, I'm not gonna it's so difficult to fucking talk about R. Kelly.
But on that song, people say that Nas jabs at Jay-Z by saying Lex with the TV sets is the minimum because wait,
what he say? Wait, what?
A Lex with TV sets.
A Lex with TV sets
is the minimum. It's like you're not stunting enough, my guy. So again, big broing Jay-Z once again.
There was a lot of stuff. Reasonable Doubt has many different areas that people latch to and love. Good amount of stunting on Reasonable Doubt as well. But to say that a month after the album drops,
this timeline is incredible because this is why it's one of the greatest beats of all time. Okay, and let me just parallel it to what we saw in 2024. Like, there's jabs, but then there's like jabs that kind of permeate through culture. Like those two, Drake and Kendrick, they weren't trying to actively start anything for 10 years.
Yeah.
This is like them being like, we're involved with all of these crews, all these different crews. Like, this is like actively like, okay, Nas is a 10-year vet. He's like, yo, I'm flexing. Like there is a disruptor, which is Tupac, that is there that like practically, and we're gonna get to that soon. Like, his death sparks all of this.
Yeah.
It's like literally sparks everything. So.
And this is literally Nas' sophomore year. Yeah. 2 years of now being like such a respected, almost veteran in your sophomore year.
Yeah.
In as far as New York hip hop. That is something that should not be taken account for. Illmatic was made when he was 20 years old?
Yeah.
Automatic 5 mics. This was not a situation where, compared to Reasonable Doubt, where Jay-Z
He'd been in the game for a while trying to make it.
Exactly. And not only that, he would note on multiple albums, he was like, "Yeah, I feel like y'all kind of sleeping on Reasonable Doubt. It should be
say that shit.
Yeah, you're kind of sleeping on." And at the time, it might have been true, but
nobody's sleeping on Reasonable
Doubt.
Illmatic. Nobody is.
Illmatic was the one that got the automatic 5 stars and the huge praise, whereas he probably wanted that for Reasonable Doubt and didn't get it.
I would say Illmatic is probably better than Reasonable Doubt. Okay. It's probably better. All right. I listen to Reasonable Doubt more, but I could say that Illmatic has more classic songs.
And what was Reasonable Doubt's original mics? 4? I think it was like a 4.
I think it was 4. But the thing is all 9 of those songs are classic hip hop songs.
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt doesn't have that. And that's just where I stand. September 4th, this is where we're getting into Nas fan theories. Nas squashes the beef with Tupac in Central Park. And Tupac tells Nas that he will remove his disses about Nas, but he did not get a chance. And I put a note here, allegedly. So there's a lot of differing stories about this squashing of the beef in Central Park. Yeah. A lot of people who talk about it do agree that it happened, but the way that it happened, like there's one where Nas just kind of like bowls up with a bunch of niggas on Tupac, like saw some tough guy
Queensbridge niggas pull up on Pac?
Yes. And then there's one where Tupac pulls up on Nas, and Nas, they basically say Nas pissed his pants, and it was just like, what's going on? But I like to believe, and Nas even has his own
story of what happened,
and it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but in the middle, it's like two rappers that respected each other. Yeah, him basically saying like Tupac was basically like, "Yo, I thought we didn't have no beef. I purposely left you out," and he did. He left him out of a lot of the disses because he respected Nas so much, and he loved. I think Tupac was just a fan of just Nas's storytelling and things like that. I think that's what Tupac always aspired to be. Yeah. That's where Tupac kind of came up from. You know, Me Against the World. All of those albums have the storytelling records on it, and that's why he liked Nas so much.
And I think this is around, if not the same week that Tupac is at the MTV Music Awards in New York City and saying like, hey, the East Coast, West Coast stuff is kind of overdone. I'm literally trying to start Death Row East and have a whole bunch of different artists that are going to be our East Coast division. We can ignore Nas and all them. They don't da-da-da-da-da. We're going to create our own storyline and be able to do that.
This is the funniest timeline ever, y'all. And when I read this, I sent it to Mark. And me and Mark were weak for like an hour about all of the stuff that he was editorializing. I don't know this guy's name. I'm going to find it and we'll put it in the comments.
Because some of this shit is not real. That's why I'm like, if I could have experienced this 10 years prior, to tell this story is insane to tell.
I fuck with this guy because he got the dates and stuff right.
Yes.
But he got a lot of this
the
shit.
Fandom. The Nas fandom is just bleeding through his skin right now.
Reminds me of another fandom that I know. But September 13th, 96, Tupac dies one day before Nas's birthday, and Nas stopped his concert to pay tribute. And this is in parentheses. Okay, so it's RIP Tupac, you know, he passes on this day.
Yes.
The guy, this is the guy, not me saying this. Jay-Z was still trying to clout chase by dissing a dead man on Dead or Alive Part 1 and 2. He did 2 songs after Pac died, and they were weak as hell.
Now, as far as Nas stopping his concert to announce what had happened, that is true. I think he literally put that as an interlude on King's Disease 3, I want to say. Yeah. Literally put the audio of it. So that I'm sure there's video of it also online as well. This was something that was new for me. I don't think I've ever heard Dead or Alive Part 1 or 2. And I'm a pretty big Jay fan. I don't think I've heard Dead or Alive Part 1
I went back and listened, and I was like, Jay-Z was definitely dissing Tupac.
Now, what were one of the lines that you think were just a little bit much?
Hold on, let me
because as much as I would like to say this, so 96 happens, September of 96 happens. If Dead or Alive Part 1 and 2 is already out, one of my biggest questions that happened in between September of 1996 throughout the next couple of months are the records that we hear from Biggie going into life after death. There are records that we're referencing Pac as well. So, we're going to talk about that very soon. But
so Jay-Z ain't nothing dead or alive playing me. I take beef to the grave. That's how my mama raised me. She told me fight in the afterlife, never revamp your story. So heaven and hell, these niggas better have some answers for me. That's definitely Pac.
And this is after his death?
Yes. See,
that's a little... I feel like
if it's jewels you like, you fools fuck around, you lose your life, and I just bruise your wife. Don't get it confused because we in the spotlight. Still, I hold the Glock with the wrist twist like these. Gangsta shit, no thanks to shit. Niggas selling 1 million records, more banks to split. Jay-Z motherfucker, who you think it is?
CJ, and this is the question that I have about a lot of things that happened after, not even the same month of September 1996. Because keep in mind, as much as Tupac is now talking about, I'm going to do Death Row East, da-da-da-da. There is a Bad Boy mixtape from Puffy. He's playing Hit 'Em Up, clearly saying Pac is an actor, celebrating. Oh my God, the Academy Award year goes to Tupac Shakur for being this big gangster. And he plays a Farrakhan outro, and I remember at the end of that, he plays a Farrakhan like interlude in that intro, and I just remember one of the last things Farrakhan said that was that like he's going to be on top, living or dead.
Yeah,
and it's like, and Puff is just screaming at the top of his lungs. Pac dies a couple of days later. I'm like, that is insanely awkward to be able to have on your jacket days after Pac passes. And then on top of that, we go into what comes up in these next couple of months where you have Long Kiss Goodnight.
I just want to spit or talk about something else he said on Dead or Alive.
Sure.
Part 2. Where's it at? The whole world supposedly trying to dispose of me. You must know I give a fuck though. Got a mean rebuttal. Try me, see where your luck though. You know what though? I'm what you don't get a second chance at. Think you could chance that? Like that's literally like going at like you see what happens.
Yeah.
When you fuck with me, you get killed.
J. And this is after the God, that's so awkward because we're gonna get Don Illuminati in like the next.
Oh, I'm about to talk about that right now.
Okay.
I'm about to talk about that right now. Let me get back to
it's just very, very odd timing. I think one thing that is not talked about a lot more that should be talked about is what was released and what was said after Pac's passing.
Yeah. November 5th, 1996. They did not waste time. When I saw that's how fast 7 Day Theory came out, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But this is back in the day when like niggas still thought he was alive.
Yeah.
So like
it went on. I mean, they think about that today.
Yeah,
so.
Niggas still think Tupac is alive today. Tupac releases Machiavelli's 7 Day Theory. It has the Nas disses on it. 7 Day Theory was actually already made. It was set to be released anyway before he passed away. He disses Nas on Against All Odds. Well, rightfully so, because that was just the rebuttal to all the stuff that happened on it was written. But he removed Watch Your Mouth, which is an unreleased cut that you can find on YouTube, I believe.
I'm sure.
This is Nas on that.
There's 3 Day Theory bootlegs. There's a whole bunch of different bootlegs. As far as like being online and being on Boxing and shit like that, there are so many Machiavelli bootlegs.
100%. So May 97, and we're getting close to Jay and Nas directly having problems with each other.
Yeah.
March 9th, 97, Biggie dies, and that leaves the huge gap in who's the king of New York, who's the best rapper alive. March 25th, 97, Biggie they released Life After Death.
Yep.
The second double disc for rap. He dissed Ghostface Killer for Shark Niggas on that album. Dissed Tupac. This is where we're kind of gonna diverge here.
Had lines for Nas too.
He had bars for Nas. The so-called Willie Slugs and Rapper Dons. But Puffy on July 1st releases No Way Out. Jay did another feature with Biggie on this. And Biggie, do you think Biggie was rapping about Nas's daughter Destiny on Victory? Because this Nas fan seems to think that was so. And this has been a long-standing
What was
theory.
the line?
I got your destiny in the palm of my hands or something like that.
Yeah, lays in my waist. Yo, I don't think Biggie. Actually, if Biggie's rapping about fucking in the ass, throw him over the bridge, I don't know, man. I'm not putting anything past Big, man. Destiny lays in my hands, Gat lays in my waist.
But we're now at a point where it's like, if you're Nas, you're like, okay, like we were clearly supposed to be next.
Yeah.
So is there a sense of this, Mark, where you think that Jay kind of inherited this beef as like, you know what, man, Big was already supposed to fucking kill you.
Was supposed to knock you up, so I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that was how Jay felt at that point?
Following death, this is now 2 months after death. I know that hip hop in general is just mourning as a complete, because now people are realizing, okay, we did way too much in these past 2 years that now a 23-year-old and a 24-year-old are now dead.
Yeah.
We're never going to get any more records from them. They were supposed to literally hold down what was going to go into the new millennium, right?
Yep.
As far as inheriting beefs, I could see Jay taking a look at the entire whirlwind of everything that has happened from the past 2 years. Obviously, now Pac is gone. I don't think, outside of Dead or Alive, that he would start holding things to the point of like, well, I thought y'all were doing anyway. A whole bunch of West Coast dick licking. I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna make sure that I never fuck with another West Coast producer. I'm a blah 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 blah. I don't think he stayed away from that and felt like he wanted to mend fences, at least in that regard.
Yeah.
Now, as far as in the city, as far as in the East Coast, that's a little bit more different.
Yeah.
Because now, if Biggie has problems with
Nas
X, Y, and Z, now what is going to happen? Because that was clearly his man's. It was like 1-2 this close. I don't think things. Well, granted. It could depend on who you are. Things can drop where your man's passes, and now you're looking at somebody else like, oh shit, your man's passed. I'm gonna just like let bygones be bygones. Yeah, but or Jay clearly, we just continue the shit.
Yeah, Jay. But it's like my thing is like what, and we'll get to that in a couple slides here. But it's like, what got them to that? You know what I mean? So I guess we have more to kind of decipher. So November 4th, 1997, Jay releases Volume 1 In My Lifetime. But before it, this is like a month after this, the Nas J drop schedule is always a thing here.
A tie-in
because Nas released the Firm album.
Yes.
Or in October 21st, 1997, and then a month later we got In My Lifetime. Jay randomly bigs up the Firm on Always Be My Sunshine. Because that was the new commission.
Yeah.
Everyone in New York was trying to recapture, and they were trying to regroup after Biggie passed away.
Yep. Especially with tying Dr. Dre into there as well. Dr. Dre is clearly fucked up over what's happening in 96. Wants completely away from Death Row, from Suge, from anything that's going on there, and he tries to mend fences and goes on the East Coast and starts creating the Firm.
Jay samples Nas again on Rap Game, Crack Game.
Sometimes the Rap Game remind me of the Crack Game.
So he's still sampling them, but I think that. But again, you hear how like Jay talks about Nas. It's like, you're old now. You know what I'm saying? You're old news. And Nas says it. He says it in ether. Like, y'all thought I was depleted. Fucked up. Y'all forgot about me. You know what I mean? So like, we're getting to that point here. 1998, Nas on Fat Joe's John Blaze said, like that nigga said in Dead Presidents, money to burn. Nas was mentioning the movie line, but it's that people think it's a slight towards Jay because Jay named his single after the movie, which was originally named after the Nas line from The World Is Yours.
Yep.
So that was kind of the first kind of direct fuck you.
And that could be one of the few times that people, or at least fans, start listening to what's going on and be like, is there a little bit more of a riff underneath that we're not realizing?
That's where the conversation starts because at the point, it's like Nas is here.
Yeah.
Then you kind of have Jay around this area. Puffy still kind of doing this thing. Jadakiss, all of them around there. It's like they're trying to fight for number 2 against Nas.
Yeah. Nas had a huge night. He said, on top of everything that we just mentioned, he's writing for Will Smith. Will Smith is dropping a damn, is it Diamond now? Yeah. I don't know how much Big Willie style is.
At least.
At least Diamond single. I'm not sure how much Big Willie style has sold. But yeah, Nas is part of that too.
September 29th, 1998, Jay releases Hard Knock Life Volume 2. The Nas fan says Hard Knock Life, still being disrespectful to the throne. How is
that disrespectful to the? Well,
I don't know. Jay says extra name out, put Jig on top, money, cash, hoes. Like that was kind of crazy.
Sketch the game out, extra name out.
That was kind of crazy.
Jig on top. Looking at it from that perspective, I can kind of see that being a whatnot.
That's a disrespectful to the throne. New York's been sauced since Snoop crushed the building. That provokes Prodigy, which leads us into what we're going to get into in 2001.
There is irony in that. I don't blame Prodigy for being mad. Because weren't you just saying there's West Coast dick licking on 22-2?
Exactly.
And now we've been soft since Snoop came
Prodigy mentions, he said Jay didn't do anything in the East Coast West Coast beef. And Jay had Short Dog, a West Coast artist, on his album, so he was like really hypocritical. He felt as though he was hypocritical for being like too much West Coast dick licking.
Yeah, Too Short was on a week ago. Well, yeah.
And then being like, New York been soft, y'all. It's like the Jay.
What could you even describe it as?
Hypocrite. Like he's always been like he's great, but he's always been a hypocrite. And like when people point this out, they act like these things did not happen. When you be like,
oh man, you hate, oh man, that's hate, that's hate right there.
He got $1 billion, man. Like who gives a shit?
He got $1 billion,
man. Like, who gives a shit? I hope this is like really educational for people who weren't around.
Especially for those that weren't alive during this time. Now, granted, I'm young as hell, but even listening, just reading the timeline, you would think that this is from out of a movie.
Yeah, but biggest line on this record, which is what you can hear the needle scratch on this. Who's the biggest MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas? On Where I'm From, inserts himself into the conversation.
Well,
because if you think about it, back then, that line completely innocent in 2001, 2002. In 98, it's like, what?
Well,
Biggie just died. He just died, bro.
Yeah.
That's like fucking J. Cole died and fucking Playboy Cardi was like, who the greatest MC, Kendrick, Drake, or Cardi?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say if Boss just suddenly came out and it was like, who's the best MC, J. Cole, Boss?
That's a better comparison. That's a better comparison. So 1998, DMX dropped 2 albums in 1 year, which kind of, and I think the Nas fan was kind of right here, put the pressure on Jay-Z and Nas to be up next because DMX, he shook shit up.
Yeah.
He really shook shit up. I actually do think that's the truth. Like, it put the pressure on all of New York because DMX, if you notice, he's not in our conversation. When we were talking about all these new rappers coming up, DMX was not in the conversation.
Especially in 1998, yep.
In 98. And then after that, it's like, oh yeah, he's the #1 rapper in New York. And he was.
Yeah.
After he did
Drops
that.
2 albums, same year. Hadn't been done until that time. And it's not just like 2 random albums that just ended up being a little footnote in his discography. It ended up being the hugest projects out of New York City at that time.
Yep. Let's go to 1999, April 6th, 1999. Nas releases I Am, but it was supposed to be a double disc. Because again, pressure from DMX, pressure from Tupac, pressure from Big.
Yeah.
But due to bootlegging, which is the first time we'll hear that on this whole thing, due to bootlegging, it was released as a single disc. We Will Survive was a letter to Notorious B.I.G. and to Tupac. Nas says on this line, and this is suspected to be a check at Jay-Z, using your name in vain, and they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that.
Well, that's where things get a little bit difficult. Can you blame those that are not too close to Big to be like,
yes,
yo, your man's just passed, and you're like saying you're surpassing him very quickly.
It has always been crazy that he said that.
Yeah.
If anything sparked the animosity, it is that, like, Nas knew Big as well. They probably weren't on good terms before he passed.
But at least there was respect. At least at a surface level, there was respect.
The common through line of this whole thing I see from the timeline so far is that Nas would do something, Jay would interject as like a precocious little kid. Like, Jay would interject and say, "Nah, I'm the greatest." Like Nas is still around, and Jay is acting as if he doesn't exist.
Yeah,
and that looks a little odd to me. August 3rd, 1999, Jay goes on Memphis Bleek's single, "What You Think of That?" where Bleek on the chorus says, "I'm a ball till I fall. What you think of that?" And
what you think of that?
And Jay on the verse says, "Like I ain't got the crown or something. Like I ain't the nigga you base your life on. I guess I ain't the reason you got that ice on." And here we are, folks, with the first shot. With the
first decent shot, yes, on Memphis Bleek's debut album.
It is a subliminal for "We Will Survive," which I just mentioned, and Memphis Bleek also borrows the Nas's like rhyme scheme on Memphis Bleek is.
Now this one I had to think about. I'm like,
it's the truth. He is.
I have to play Memphis Bleek is back because all I remember is just the production by Swiss Beats. But I'm like, did he rap like Nas is like? Because Nas is like is a very very specific flow. I'm like, did Bleek use that on Memphis Bleek is?
He does.
I gotta double check that.
But the thing is, we're not listening to Memphis Bleek album.
Oh, I don't do Bleek like that.
November 23rd, 1999, Nas, this is 2 albums in 1 year for Nas too, releases Nostradamus, critically lambasted, but you do get a shot back at Memphis Bleek, not Jay. Memphis Bleek, "Ball Till You Fall, I Can Help You With That, Let a Slug Melt Through Your Hat."
And that is on the title track, Nostradamus.
And that was the single with the 3D glasses and all of that shit. December 7th, Biggie releases or posthumously releases "Born Again" with a posthumous collaboration with Nas, and Jay is not on the album.
That I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I forgot Jay is not on Born Again.
Not on Born Again.
Wow.
Yeah. So December 28th, 1999, at the he almost didn't put this out that year.
Yep.
Jay releases Volume 3, Life and Times, 1 month after Nas subliminally makes fun of Nas on "Come and Get Me" on a track with a similar name to that. And then Nas appears on a remix to R. Kelly's "Did You Ever Think?" And this one is the craziest one. Should I say this one or should I just leave it?
I'm trying to remember what well, I don't think the remix made the R, but say it.
This is the one where the Nas stand goes way off. I'm gonna leave this song.
We're just gonna precaution this. A Nas stan said this.
Nas stan says Jay proceeded to do 2 joint albums with R. Kelly while ignoring the obvious signs of R. Kelly because Nas said Jay indulged in that type of behavior too with the likes of Foxy, who was 18 in 1997, and Beyonce, who was 18 in 1999, etc. Ghostwriting for female rappers and having female R&B artists sing on your song to get closer to them the way R. Kelly did with Aaliyah. He was saying Jay was a groomer.
You know, it's been said multiple. It's been said multiple times about Foxy Brown. I'm trying not to laugh so hard. People say that a lot about Foxy Brown, and the response online is, "Oh, well, you know, she was supposed to be 19 and blah blah blah." I'm like, when Reasonable Doubt came out, she is clearly young, and that's, you know, it's not something that just because she showed up on Ain't No Nigga that we're just gonna assume that certain things happen. Beyonce at the time, obviously still one of the biggest groups of all time, Destiny's Child. She's literally in the video for You Owe Me.
It's just crazy to think that, like, to just attach those two at that point, like the R. Kelly shit. Like, but I'm like, also Nas worked with R. Kelly too, so like, did he see the obvious signs? Like, like he was doing it back then too.
Exactly. That would have been. There are a lot of people that are. I hate to use the word complicit. Complicit is such a Twitter word, but
it's a word.
A lot of people closed their eyes in 1999, 2000, and what was going on. Now, it feels a lot more direct with Jay because Aaliyah is dating Dame Dash. I'm fairly confident that Dame would have not only known what had happened between Aaliyah and R. Kelly, but also would have, I would assume, this is all assumption, would have put Jay on beat to be like, hey, this is what happened between those two. I'm just going to let you know, blah, 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 blah. And that's what makes things like Best of Both Worlds and the second album after that just a little bit more awkward. But Dame doesn't really talk too deep into those stories. 2000
is we're at critical mass here, and we're about to get into the albums and the diss songs here as well.
New Millennium.
September 12th, 2000, Memphis Bleek releases The Understanding, which featured Is That Your Chick? Which
I did not
was a single.
I did not realize this was a diss single.
As a kid, I did not know this was a diss to Nas. But again, it's Nas saying something, Jay interjecting. This time, this really should have been Memphis Bleek versus Nas.
Yeah.
Because that was the person who was directly attacking at Nas.
Exactly.
At that point. Jay starts talking about Carmen, Nas' baby's mom, and his affair with her.
Why you mad at me? Room 112, hotel balcony. That's disrespectful, dog. You better check it, dog. But it's so awkward because if it's a diss single, you just lined up Twista. Yeah. You just lined up Missy.
Notice who Nas doesn't work with after this.
Yeah.
All of those people. And because of this, you know. And
it's kind of awkward because Nas was on Hot Boys. Nas was on Hot Boys remix. Yep. Missy's Hot Boys remix that like year of 99. Yeah, by year 99. So now Missy is doing the hook for a diss single for Nas at the time.
And then Memphis Bleek, this is Nas on Mine Right. Which Memphis Bleek started this whole beef. I'm sorry. He started because he did not stop. Like he was dissing him every year from 98 onward. Like it was crazy. Fall 2000, Nas drops a freestyle on Mobb Deep's Eye for an Eye on a DJ Clue mixtape where he says, "You can't be I. See, I'm eternal, not luck. You get shot up, boxed up next for the grave. Your flow is one-dimensional, your level is second grade. You're on top, what? Copy and fuck. I said it first, you repeat it. Your false crown covered in dirt. Defeated. You niggas is all hail, the king is dead. He running like a bitch with a tail between his legs. Stillmatic, still eye for an eye. Wanna be God, you're just the next rapper to die, fucking with Nas."
And Jay was calling himself Hope of the God at that time, very much so. So these are pretty. There's nothing to interpret. There's nothing to interpret here.
Because the thing is, I think with Nas is saying like you're sending your shooter at me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go right at you.
Yeah,
you're sending your second.
I don't have issues with Bleek.
Yeah, I'm not going at Bleek. That's too easy. Yeah, I'm going at you. He said the king, and Nas has remained that he does not want to be the king. Of New York. He's like he's bigger than being the king of New York. He's gone on record saying it. He doesn't want to be the king. He's saying the king is dead. You can't be the king. The king is dead.
And on top of that, it's much harder to get to Jay at the top than it was. I mean, now you can pretty much say whatever you want. But 25 years ago, there was Bleek, there was Beans, there's Freeway, Young Guns.
He's got shooters.
Yeah, exactly. It took a lot. You had to go through a lot of Mortal Kombat levels before Jay gets up here.
Nas said, "No,
yeah, y'all move out the way."
And
Jay was like, "Nah, I don't hear that. Y'all hear that?" Damn.
So October 31st, 2000, once again, 1 month removed from a Nas album, Jay releases Dynasty La Familia.
This is a month after QB's Finest, or
this is a month,
QB's
this a month
Finest
before.
Oh, a month before QB's Finest. Okay.
So November 21st, less than a month.
Yeah.
Nas releases QB's Finest. He says on one of the songs called The Bridge 2001, "Oh, you didn't want to know whose life is written? The life I'm living, the ice, the women, laser, AR-15, doors come down, jaws is broke. Your whole crew is coffin bound. Your hoe, your man, lieutenant, your boss get found." That was all for Rockefeller.
Well,
and it leads us into January 2001, because Jay definitely heard that.
Jay said, "All right, y'all boys, grab your backpacks."
That's Nas saying, "Open the door."
Jay now going, "Hey, y'all boy, wake up."
We got get in the room. We writing right now. We all writing. Jay 2001.
Where we going? We going to flex right now.
January 2001. This is Jay's takeover year. Let's just be clear. This is Jay knows that the beef is on. I remember this vividly. You know, my sister bringing stuff up like this, but like she was like, "Yo, Nas he's wilding."
Yeah.
But this is the year where everyone was like, "Okay, this has got to happen this year, right? This is definitely happening." We are 3 years into this beef about to happen.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think, just going down this timeline. So Jay and Rockefeller goes on Hot 97 on one of their classic freestyles where everyone freestyles.
Probably the most classic moment as far as freestyling on Hot 97.
I miss this era where people would just go freestyle shit, bro. Like it was awesome. So he spits on Queensbridge beats to disrespect artists from Queens. When Nas's Light comes on, Jay says it was too fluty, which offended DJ Premier, which is why DJ Premier and Jay didn't work together for a long time after this. Jay later in Blueprint 2 said Guru, he brought the flutes in as a half apology, allegedly.
Now,
DJ
this
Premier.
is where I was like, Nas fan, you are fucking wildin'. You thought Guru, the producer, was Guru from Gangstar? Now we might have to do a little bit of history here.
We need to see your Twitter.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
Twitter location,
If that just says India, yo, we got some combos to have.
So interesting point here. March 27, 2001, Tupac releases Until the End of Time, his fourth double disc that famously has "Fuck Jay-Z" in the middle of "Fuck Friends."
On Fuck Friends, yep.
That will later be sampled for Ether. That's where that comes from. I guess the Nas fan says someone at Death Row must have been mad that Jay-Z remade Tupac's "Me and My Girlfriend," but I'm just like, that song didn't come out for
Bonnie and Clyde didn't happen until the end of next year.
You're making that shit up. So,
but I mean, making it a track too, I was like, man, I might got something there.
We're at critical mass here. June 2001, Jay performs the initial version of Takeover at Summer Jam, jabbing at Prodigy with one line at Nas, but not the full line. He says
it was only the first two verses. Kanye produces the beat, and that's all we knew. That's all we had heard of Takeover, but we knew it was coming. August 2001, Nas performs H to the Omo on radio. The rap version of Cisco.
And which Nas was like, "Stop fucking with me." And he said he raps H to the Omo. And then September 11th, we're finally here. Jay releases the Blueprint, which has the Takeover on it, and we'll just get into the Blueprint first.
Yeah,
Blueprint releases on September 1st, 2001. It's widely considered to be one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. Starts with the Rulers Back, goes into the Takeover on track 2.
Mm-hmm.
He got to it right from the beginning. This is an album, to me, in a lot of ways, Jay is coming at this from, and I mentioned this earlier, he's acting like he didn't start it. But he's also coming at this from an aspect of his back is against the wall. Yeah. And he's got to prove himself. Yeah. He's got to make the best album he's ever made. Does he do it? I think a lot of people say yes.
I would say so too. Like we said earlier, I don't think that there's anything left to say about this project. Now, granted, in these last couple of days, so many things are changing for Jay. 3 weeks prior, Aaliyah jumps on a plane and is gone. Dame is now in shambles. Jay probably is now completely distraught as well, because that was a very, very close friend of his. The day the album drops, planes hit the Twin Towers, and now New York City is in a complete blaze.
I actually feel like the album probably sells a lot more had that not happened.
Absolutely.
Because he had the momentum going into it. Yeah. You had Izzo, which was at that point not as big as Hard Knock Life, but it was as good of a single as you could get going into that album. Is coming out with Izzo. I think it definitely clears 400 that week if that's the case.
What was the first week numbers?
I think it was.
Let's take a look at.
Was it 2?
Let's take a look at Jay-Z's. Let's take a look at Jay-Z's Blueprint first week.
There it goes.
Let's take a look here. Over 427,000 copies in the first week.
I think it does 5.
This was a significant achievement, especially considering the album was released on September 11th, 2021. Blah blah blah.
But a lot of that is like
there are many different ways to buy albums.
New York's not the only place people were going to go buy albums that day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, I mean, big moment for Jay just in general. But these past couple of months have been crazy. You debut Izzo at the BET Awards. You did take over. You had Michael Jackson on stage at Summer Jam. Look completely stunned in the camera as everybody's like, "What the fuck? Yeah. We just took this shit over! Holy shit!"
Because at that point, it's like not like Nas can't do it like this.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it shows the difference between Jay, and I think it's a big reason, Mark, why he lost his battle is that he was like, in order to get them, I gotta have the glitz and glamour.
Yeah,
because Nas can't do this, but that's not necessarily Nas' style. But sometimes styles are like fights are about styles, and I think that like ultimately, all of the glitz and glamour with what Jay was doing was ultimately kind of like a sheen or a veneer of what like Nas had prepared for him.
Absolutely.
So Blueprint, again, from the beef, like let's get to Takeover. I think we could pretty much recite that shit, but I'll pull up the lyrics because a lot of what Takeover is was what was built from what we've already talked about on this episode so far. And a lot of the lyrics get paid off. Let's bring this up.
Now, mind you, as we bring that up, we have to paint the picture of what radio looks like for New York City at the time before Takeover even makes its way onto the Blueprint yet. So the good thing about being online is that, and shout out to MTV. As much shit as you are in right now on what your channel is and what MTV looks like in 2026.
You might not even be around this year.
Completely sad. They already cut off ridiculousness, right?
Yeah.
They already cut off ridiculousness. I don't know if MTV survives into 2026, but they've kept a lot of their news articles up on MTV.com. So Shaheem Reed, a very, very huge reporter in hip hop, his column on Nas versus Jay-Z from 2001, even though I think even into the beginning of 2002, Nas versus Jay-Z grade A beef is still online. And we were able to read literally what it was, what the tone was in the city based on the beef from there. And from there, you were able to find something that came from Nas that also described what it was like to play these disses on radio in 2001, because when it came to Hot 97 and when it came to other New York radio stations, we are 4 years removed from Pac and Big dying. I think they took a look at clearly what was about to brew up between Nas and Jay and saying, hey, we don't want a repeat of what just happened a couple of years ago. Y'all are two amazing MCs. We just lost two amazing MCs trying to hype shit up and trying to get a crazy beef going on. So Nas looks back at what had happened after H to the Omo and goes, Hot 97 backed off it. I heard that Jay had somebody call the radio station so that my record wouldn't be played. Now that I don't understand. If we come to fight, we come to fight. That's like calling the cops. And so Hot 97, after my freestyle, they banned all diss records. And I can't knock them because they don't want to be responsible for another crazy violent loss in the hip hop community. They had to do their job. But I felt like he had his shot at me, so I just needed a fair shot back. By the time that we are now going to be talking about Ether a little bit later, but at the time, not only is this battle going on, but also you have Rough Riders battling State Property. Yeah. So all of this is going on at the time. We already talked about 2001 and their freestyle at the very beginning of the year. We already know what they did in Rap City when State Property all tag teamed against the fucking Locks on Rap City.
Beans versus Jadakiss is one of the most underrated battles of all time.
Yeah. And that ended up getting pretty ugly as far as what was said from there before they ended up having their own conversation also in a park. That's kind of in a park. In a random park. So there's so many different things going on beef-wise right now that even radio is being like, you know what? We're going to let y'all have like a brief moment, but after that, we're banning the records. We're not going to run these in rotation. We're not going to keep having these go on so that something gets escalated and somebody dies. Yeah. So from here, now we have the full version of Takeover that ends up coming out.
So Takeover is an interesting record. because it's not just about Nas. It was initially aimed at Mobb Deep. And at Summer Jam that year, Jay-Z, the reason that people call it the Summer Jam screen online or whatever is because of what Jay-Z did that year. That 2001 Summer Jam was one of the greatest of all time. He actually put up Mobb Deep, Prodigy from Mobb Deep's, like his pictures when he used to do.
When he was a young kid and did dancing.
He did dancing. He put his pictures up there. So like it was originally a diss to Mobb Deep because they, as we mentioned earlier, were upset. They were a little bit miffed that Jay-Z was talking about the West Coast East Coast beef and he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and when I was talking about New York hip hop, these are two huge hip hop legends. At the time, at least veterans specifically, at the time that would be like, hey, we were actually directly dissing Pac. Were you? You were kind of like hiding behind Big. What was going on with that?
He says in the second verse of this, you little fuck, I got
money stacks.
He says, I don't care if you Mobb Deep, I hold triggers to cruise. You little fuck, I got money stacks bigger than you. When I was pushing weight back in 88, you was a ballerina.
I got the pictures I seen you, and everybody was,
Then you drop Shook One, switch your demeanor. Well, we don't believe you. You need more people. Another meme that came out of this. We don't believe you. You need more people. So at the end of this is the line that he spit at Summer Jam but didn't finish when he says, I sold what your whole album sold in my first week. You guys don't want it with Hov. Ask Nas. You don't want it with Hov.
No.
And that was
all they get. That's all he gave.
That was, if you had to compare it to Nas, that's the like that. That's the fuck the big three.
Sure.
Of what this whole thing was. That's like the okay. And then you get to Nas, and I want to go through this because it encapsulates every single thing that we've talked about on this show thus far. And it's the reason why this album was made. It's the reason why Stillmatic came out. These are the reasons why it came out. So I know you miss it, Nas, the fame. But along with celebrity comes about 70 shots to your frame, nigga. You was the model for
Coconut Esco ass. Hating on the fashion.
Went from nasty Nas to Esco's trash. Had a
spark when you started.
But now you're just garbage. Another meme that came out of this. Fell from top 10 to not mention at all. To your bodyguard's Uchiwali verse better than yours.
Matter of fact, you had the worst flow in the whole fucking song.
But I know the sun don't shine. The sun don't shine. That's why your careers come to an end. It's only so long fake thugs can pretend. So again, he's going back to Nas's the message. Like Nas should have never made the message because it created so many things that people could just jab at him about.
Yeah,
it was just a weird song to put out at that point. So he says, "Nigga, you ain't live it. You witnessed it in your folks' pack. You scribbled in your notepad. It created your life. I showed you your first tech on tour, large professor.
That's who.
Then I heard your album about the tech on the dresser. So yeah, I sampled your voice. You was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. Another meme that came out of this. Then you ain't get a coin, nigga. You was getting fucked. Then I know who I paid. God, Searchlight Publishing. Use your brain. You've been in this 10. I've been in this 5. Smarten up, Nas. One of the best website names of all time. 4 albums in 10 years, nigga. I can divide another me. That's whenever say two of them shits was due. One was the other was Illmatic, and that's a one hot album every 10-year average.
Now that's literally defines Nas's discography for a large generation of people.
Because I love that you said this because people will literally hear him say that the good album was Illmatic and everything else was ass. Yeah. I Am is not ass. It was written as not ass. It
was written to be That's kind of nuts.
So again, it's a battle. So it's the same way that J. Cole went at Kendrick's discography, saying all that. It's like it's a battle. Like, and people were getting too wrapped up in like whether it's true or not. Yeah, it's like no, I'm jabbing at your credibility. It's because, and I don't like the way J. Cole took it. You know what I'm saying? But he actually knew what the battle was supposed to be about. He actually thought this was about to be a rap battle.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, let's get right. You want to rap? Let's rap.
Say what you will about how he exited it, but he had more insight into what this should have been, because this is what it should have been. Like the baby mama stuff, like you got to sprinkle in the salacious. Sure. It just went too far. Yeah. After that. So niggas switch up your flow, your shit is garbage. What you trying to acknowledge? You niggas gonna learn to respect the king. Again, Nas said the king was dead. And Jay is again making himself the king. He's telling everyone his king, which will come back again with people being mad that Lil Wayne said that he was the best rapper alive. Yep. And I remember bringing this up back in the day. I would say, how is Wayne not allowed to say he's the best rapper alive, but Jay can just come out of nowhere and say, hey, I'm the king now? Yeah. It makes no sense. He wasn't the king because Eminem technically would have been the king. Yeah. He was the highest selling. Mm-hmm. He had the most attention. Yeah. Nelly after him.
I mean, Jay acknowledged it a year afterwards. That's
Yeah,
the only
he had- 'cause
dude. The
he
only
had to.
dudes moving units.
Because he had to. He fucking had to. Because Eminem blew him out the water.
Yeah.
Literally, like a couple months later after
Yeah.
this. Don't be the next tested on that Summer Jam screen because you know who.
Who?
Did you know what with who? You know who. But let's just keep that between me and you.
For now.
Obviously, bringing up Carmen, Allen Iverson, and him in a love quadruple square angle.
And who knows if this was just like street rumors for now. Probably nothing that was said on wax, or maybe it was something that was understood and just kept under wraps by people that didn't want to do too much dirty laundry talking.
Yeah.
But he was like, I got this on me now. You say one more thing, I'm gonna air it.
Yeah. We'll see how that happens in a couple of points after this because we got to get through Stillmatic first. But
now, one brief thing before takeover: Ruler's back. Did
Yeah.
you listen to anything and think of anything different ever since the millions of times we've heard the Ruler's back?
no.
I think the every time I hear the Ruler's back, I just think of Cameron saying "Swagger Jacket since '87." Every time I hear the Ruler's back, and I hate it. Cam has literally risen the rules back.
Anymore.
Nah, bro. Every time I hear it, when Cam dropped the "I'm not a biter, I'm a writer," and he literally took that
Which
offline.
he stole that from
from a forum. I don't know if it was Box Den. I don't know if it was Nike Talk.
SOHH probably.
SOHH, one of those. It's a super old. It followed the Black Album. Obviously, on What More Can I Say, he says, I'm not a writer. I mean, I'm not a biter. I'm a writer for myself and others. Say a big verse. I'm only bigging up my brother, bigging up my barrel. I'm big enough to do it. I'm that thorough. Somebody online said, let's rewind that real quick. Flipped it to I'm not a writer, I'm a biter. And there's 7 minutes of Jay-Z biting lines. Cam flipped that in his diss. And on the Ruler's back, he just screamed swagger jacking since 87. Every time I hear the Ruler's back, I have to say it.
But before we get over, it's no, we have a month in between all of this, but the Blueprint, man, what can we say about it that hasn't been said already? I mean, Never Change, one of my favorite Jay songs of all time.
Probably still my favorite. It might not be the best Jay-Z song of all time, but my favorite Jay-Z song. It's a song that just gets you emotional, man.
Yeah. I underrated song on Blueprint, All I Need, is one of my favorite songs.
Much better than Hola Jovito.
That is the skip of
If
all
the,
skips.
if we had to take a song off each album, my song is Hola Jovito.
I think I'm gonna take Braveheart Party off of Stillmatic.
Well, Mary did that.
Well, oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, man. A month after Stillmatic drops, Mary says, "Hey, this is getting a little hot. Can you take this? I'm cool with Jay. Can you you know what I'm saying?
Hola Jovito is probably mine, but again,
I've never been a big Hola Jovito guy. And I mean, it has one of the lines that are probably one of the more important lines in this entire beef on Hola Jovito.
If I ain't better than Big,
drops the beat. If I ain't better than Big, I'm the closest one. I said,
how is he able to get away with this when Nas was still alive? Again, it's all about. I think what Jay got really good was marketing. Rockefeller commercials back in the day. I don't know if you were like young enough to remember this, but on Rap City, Rockefeller commercials were amazing. They were like movies. Like they were like his marketing was incredible, and he had Def Jam backing, and Def Jam was the hottest label out at the time. It's like he was able to really win over people just by marketing. He had great fucking marketing, great videos, and that's how he did it. Not to mention being a great rapper. And I think he made the blueprint, so to speak, for everybody that come out after that. And I think that this album really shows it. It has some of the greatest beats still in hip hop history.
Yeah.
Kanye's coming out party, Just Blaze is, up there as well. Timbaland, everybody huge on this album. And again, it's personal. It has party records. It has Girls, one of my favorite singles from him of all time as well. And again, you have the collaboration with Eminem, which is him basically saying I got to get the real king, on the album, and that was
go and try and spar.
Because as much as people want to talk about it now, niggas fucked with Eminem, niggas really fucked with Eminem back in the day. It's one of the as far as hip hop takes of 2025 that I ignore. I just completely steer away from all. Never liked Eminem.
We never, out here, bullshit. I'm I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm not even gonna try and debate it. Well, you cannot debate the numbers.
Well, I admit when you get older, it doesn't age as well. Some of that stuff doesn't age well. Yes,
absolutely not. Yeah,
it wasn't just white people buying his albums; it was black people buying his albums too. It was everyone that loved him, and Jay getting him on that record again. Great marketing, understanding the landscape, and I think that's why I think that's why people look at it as if Nas lost years down the line because Jay understood the landscape. He understood that in order to be bigger, he had to work with everyone. It's the same reason he worked with Too Short. It's the same mentality that people like Cameron took, people like Lil Wayne took, like working with people from New York. Like Jay was the one who started the blueprint for that. And I think that's why this album is so enduring because he's working with fucking everybody.
And you can argue pop culture wise, I think he just permeated a lot faster than Nas did, being able to do Saturday Night Live and have that big moment like that, being on one of Mariah Carey's biggest records at the time, being able to have DJ Clue on a fucking Mariah Carey record. That is something that was big. So now you're in pop, now you're in R&B. Obviously rap, you're huge. Not to say that Nas is also not involved in R&B and probably does not have that big of a pop stance as much as Jay-Z does. But yeah, those would be the moments that Jay-Z can look at this and be like, yeah, I am moving a lot more culture than you are in that sense.
December 4th, 2001.
So Takeover is now simmered for
2 months.
About 2 months. Yeah. Everybody's like, yeah, that was fun. Nas got killed.
In perspective, right?
Yeah. Nas got killed. We can just move along. I don't know how Nas is going to come back.
Sitting there like, yeah, I did it. Told you it was pussy. Pussy nigga. Nas releases Ether and Got Yourself. He dropped both singles to Stillmatic. Nobody knew that he was coming out with an album. So the album was actually announced, I believe, days before that, but no single was actually announced.
Okay.
And Stillmatic was announced to be the sequel to Illmatic. That was the rumor at the time. I remember my sister talking about it, like, they think Nas is going to put out an album, and the radio was saying, we're hearing Nas has an album. He has a whole album for Jay at this point.
And at the time, Stillmatic was, if you ever want to hear what was considered to be the original Stillmatic, you can play The Lost Tapes. The Lost Tapes was released a year after all of this happened, but at least 6 or 7 of the original records that were supposed to be on Stillmatic, a lot more of an introspective album.
Because what we haven't mentioned here too, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries.
Nas had, I think his mom was sick or something like that at the time. And that's where the Lost Tape songs were coming from. So imagine Nas, taking care of his sick parent. And you got people over here trying to knock his fucking block off. Because all he did, like when you look at the timeline, Nas actually wasn't inactive for that long. It was like a year and some change that he was inactive.
Yeah, not too bad.
And Jay was like, well, now that he's gone, I'm the fucking king. Like fuck this nigga. Like, it's so crazy how they try to do him. And again, it's coming from a Jay fan. I gotta say, he tried to do Nas dirty, bro.
Well, it was all, granted, I don't know how much he knew of whether or not Nas's mom was sick or yada, yada, yada. I
don't think he cared.
You think he wouldn't have fell back if he knew?
He dropped Takeover still.
Well, that is true.
Like, he still dropped Takeover, and then he's still going to drop another fucking song that's even worse than that. He tried to put it on radio.
Yeah.
So Nas drops Ether and Got Yourself. Allegedly, Jay found out about Ether because he was at a club and a DJ played it.
Wait, what? There's no way a DJ.
Allegedly, but I mean, it could go out. It could go out that way. It could go out that way.
Yeah.
So again, you have this. You have Stillmatic, and then we go into kind of Ether. Do you want to talk about Stillmatic a little bit before we get into Ether? Or do we want to? What part do you want to get into first?
I think I grew a lot of appreciation for where Nas's mindset was on Stillmatic, more so in ways that I didn't really, I won't say care, but listening to Stillmatic when I was young, I was like, I mean, it just is what it is. I already knew my bigger records, the ones that I would hear online, obviously Ether, this and that, but I never really like gave Stillmatic like big listening. Yeah. I guess you would say. Yeah. I think listening to it now, I think the intro hits me a lot more. I think the 2 records at the end hit me a lot more differently than what I would have listened to when I was 10, 11 years old. Yeah. So a little bit more of a bigger appreciation for not only what Nas did in this battle, but also what he tried to do afterward, as far as not only cleaning up Queens and making sure that Queens continues to look a lot stronger compared to what it was in 2001, and the amount of different artists that were saying a lot of things in that little Queen Civil War, but also where the country was going. We are 2 months removed from 9/11. We're about to be at war pretty soon. The country's not looking so nice right now. Nas talked about that to a much different degree on records like What Comes Around or What Goes Around, and the outro to that as well. Those are things that I think have lived well throughout the past 24 years or so, because those are things that can still sit today.
Yeah.
I think you play What Goes Around Comes Around. I think that is a record that has aged very well. We talk a lot about these records in ThrowBLKs that could be from 25, 30 years ago and don't necessarily live as well as they do in 2025. But I think Stillmatic holds.
I mean, real shit. Got Yourself a Gun is one of the great rap singles of our time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Got Yourself he's still dissing Jay on that shit. Like, that was the B side of the disses.
Yeah.
and if Jay felt as though his back was against the corner, I feel like Nas felt as though his back was way more against the corner.
Yeah.
With Stillmatic. It's a record that is just as rebellious, but it's like Nas in a whole different mind state. It's like you don't ever want to piss this guy off because he's gonna come out with this. Like, you don't want to piss this guy off. It's start to finish. It's like he's jabbing at him every song, right? But
yeah.
It's also like he has some like club records on there. He's got some like. My only thing is though, Mark, the beats are fucking terrible on this fucking album, bro.
They came from a lot of different random places. I think one thing that is to know is it's very, very clear that Nas is not coming from a position of, oh, I'm not playing your album. Your album's pretty trash. I'm never all your shit is ass. Oh, you don't got one classic on you. Blah 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 blah. He actually listened to the Blueprint and responded to
a lot of different things that were said.
A lot of different lines on the Blueprint and was like, hey, I got a problem with X Y Z, and I think that's very respectable when it comes to the battle that they end up having. Now, Blueprint wise, like you said, there really is not the most left to say in regards to this track list. I think the one thing that I found that was actually new, I actually didn't realize how strong of a needle pop is on Heart of the City. When I played it back in my headphones, I'm like, this gives it such a vintage sound. And
because he was playing it right off the vinyl.
Yeah.
That's how they used to sample shit.
And
like
isn't that fucking, that's made me not necessarily emotional, but I'm just like, man, how did 20 years pass and just Kanye West seeing the difference between 2001 and 2025. Now, granted, I'm not telling you to be your 25-year-old self your entire life, but man, the genius of Heart of the City is tough. It's difficult to try and realize where did things go wrong. I think that was the one new thing that I found as far as Blueprint. Everything else you can say, we can talk about Hova all day. We talk about girls, girls, girls. Song Cry, I don't think there's anything much left to say. Renegade, truthfully, I was never really the biggest, you got killed on Renegade guy. I was never really the hugest on Renegade in general because
I thought Eminem was at like 25 miles an hour on that. He was kind of cruising.
25.
He wasn't trying to kill nobody.
Yeah, I don't think I was never the one to buy the you got murdered on Renegade. Now, granted, I think Renegade ends up being on the lower spectrum of Eminem beats that I like. Eminem production can be hit or miss sometimes. You can get the joints like you do on Encore. Then you could get joints like Till I Collapse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like those kind of being ones that are different. Blueprint Mama Love, obviously the outro, Girl Girl Girls remix, and so on and so forth. I still feel like I hear Michael Jackson in that bitch. Maybe I'm just tricking myself. But I feel like
he was supposed to be on it.
I feel like I hear him though.
You can hit on it.
Is that just placebo?
It's a placebo effect.
Because as soon as he's
hear never been on it, but he was supposed
just
to. Just
trying, girl. You hear somebody going, hey.
Nah, it's not. He's not.
Is that not Michael Jackson?
He's not on it. He was supposed to be though.
He was supposed to be. On it, yeah. That would have been crazy if he was. But every time that I hear Girl Girl Girls remix, I'm like, kind of sounds like him.
So we're still on December 4th, and I guess we'll go from Stillmatic and we'll get into Ether because then it's gonna lead us.
Yeah, because the intro I also didn't. I heard Jadakiss rap on this in 2008.
Yeah.
It's called like Mornings with Hash Browns. I didn't realize that's a direct line of Nas saying Mornings with Hash Browns on Stillmatic intro. I was like, this is a very strong intro.
So Ether is derived, according to Nas, from he says, I was told a long time ago that ghosts and spirits don't like the fumes from ether, and I just wanted to affect him with my weapon and get to his soul.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so Ether starts off produced by Ron Browns, all right?
Ron Browns, Harlem's finest.
You want to know somebody who probably killed his career by saying his name was Ether Boy? You don't celebrate the fact that you made Ether. Because Jay-Z,
why not?
Jay-Z's still around.
I mean, yes, he is. But
you think somebody say, yeah, we got for your artist, we got a couple Ron Brown beats. Like, oh, word, he's still around? Word. Well, let me make some phone calls real quick.
Jay will never hop on a Ron Brown.
He's still saying Ether Boys? Oh, bet. All right. Ron Browns is gone.
I mean, I think jumping out the window just did that for Ron Browns as opposed to Jay.
He went to the well too many times. So we got Ether here. Fuck with your soul, Ether. Teach you the king, you know you. Godsons have crossed the belly. I thought you gotta say the I will not.
Oh
lose.
yes, you're right. You're right. I thought you were gonna start with the bomb.
No, I'm starting with the
Fuck
chorus.
Jay-Z. What's up,
right
niggas? Okay.
So brace yourself for the main event. Y'all been patiently waiting.
It's like an AIDS test. What's the results? Not positive.
Who's the best? Nas is big. Ain't no best. East, west, north, south, flossed out. Greetings, I'm
raised on with napalm.
Blows up,
no guts, left chest, face gone. How can Nas be garbage? Semi-autos at your college. Burner at the side of your dome. Come out of my throat. I got this. Glocks is not one. I am the truest. They were rapping that I ain't influence.
That's a meme. Gave y'all chapters, but now I keep my eyes on the Judas.
Yep.
Go with Hawaiian Sophie fame. I kept his name in my
music. Check it.
He went all the way back to.
He will not get over Hawaiian Sophie. I think that was his highest disgust.
Like that means that Nas was paying attention.
Yeah.
And he knows who the fuck this guy was.
Yeah.
He always know who Jay-Z was.
Even from borough to borough. You could be in Brooklyn, I could be in Queens. Yeah. I could clearly know that Jazzo's blowing up and you're right next to him.
Bringing up there is no kings, ain't no best. Like Nas has maintained this. I think he probably maintains it to this day. That there is no best here.
Yeah.
Next verse here.
First verse is very calm.
He gets unhinged here. I've been fucked over, left for dead, distant, forgotten. Luck ran out. They hope that I be gone, stiff and rotten. Y'all just pissed on me, shit on me,
spit on my grave.
Talk about me, laugh behind my back,
but in my face, y'all some well wishes.
Bitch niggas, friendly acting envy behind snakes. With your hands on my money, man, how much
can I take?
With these streets
keep calling, heard it when I was asleep.
That this Jay-Z and
Rockefeller Records want to beef. Started cocking up my weapons, fully loaded up his ammo to explode it on a camel.
The soldiers I can handle. Come on,
the camel memes that followed Ether are so fucking
because
hilarious.
The thing is, at this point, I'm sorry, man. At this point, how can you not think that this is over?
We're not even at the bad parts yet. This is second verse yet. This is second verse.
I can handle this for Dolo and his manuscript. You just sound stupid. When the KRS
that's already made an album called Blueprint, nigga.
First Biggie's your man.
Then you got the nerve to say that you better than Big, dick sucking lips.
Why can't you let the late great veteran live?
And then somebody had direct beef with Big. I'm like, ain't this your man?
So all of the culmination of everything that has happened since 1996 has come to roost.
2001, yeah.
It's come to roost for Jay-Z. Like,
yeah.
Everything that he's done has come back. And I think this is why this song is so powerful, because it's rooted in reality. Mm-hmm. It's rooted in things that have happened.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel as though I didn't like last year's beef. Because a lot of it wasn't, like, other than like the salacious shit, a lot of it wasn't rooted in reality.
Yeah.
It didn't, or at least it didn't start out there.
You've historically said it felt like just they put two artists in front of each other and said, all right, now's the time.
Yes.
Rap. And then you had said it didn't even feel like as authentic as what has happened within these past 3 months. It literally feels like between that, what was it, Saturday night or Friday night going into Friday. That Sunday afternoon, it was like
I was over it by Sunday.
It was like three takeovers, three ethers being dropped back to back.
Yeah, it wasn't thoughtful.
Yeah.
It didn't feel thoughtful like this did. This is
it felt like people were just trying to swing.
You couldn't even, I think Drake might have touched on it a little bit, like the past of what they had gone through a little bit, like, or he attempted to. Like, I don't feel like Kendrick really touched. Like, I came out of that beef with this. These are the two greatest of all time at the top of their game in 2001.
Yes.
And it was about who was the best rapper.
Yeah.
To me.
You didn't have to wait 15 years for the battle to happen.
Exactly. But in it being rooted in reality, again.
Yeah.
It came from a place of
direct roots.
Directly, I know these people. I know what it was. I just listened to Ether. I listened to Takeover. I'm like, this is like not even just real hatred, real sportsmanship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what happened last year was just like, do y'all hate each other? Like what?
Do y'all really not? Do y'all really not like each other?
What's wrong with y'all? What is this all about? Like this came from like, I just want to be the you say you're the best rapper, now prove it. I don't feel like that's what was accomplished last year. I don't feel like ultimately that was the goal. I don't think that's what was it.
And even Nas has talked about what he said when he first heard Takeover. He said, when I first heard it, and this is from Shaheem Reed's article again on Nas vs. Jay-Z, when I first heard it, it was like an eruption. It was crazy. It's always been brewing. It's always been in the air.
Yeah.
You know, the jabs have been poked out there, but it was just crazy to hear a real joint that was like, this is for you. It just opened my eyes. I ran to the phone and I was like, I can't believe it.
This nigga had Ether loaded talking about that stuff. I can't believe it.
But then again, I honestly don't think, I feel like Ether is an actual like, oh shit, you actually really said something about me? All right, let me get started. Like, I don't think that this was something that Drake had said. He was just like, yo, you've been sitting on that record for 4 years. Drop it or shut your mouth. Yeah. That felt like something that it felt like, oh, Kendrick's probably been sitting on this disc for like 4 years and is just waiting for the best time to be like, as soon as Drake says something stupid, I'm going to just drop that bitch. But I really feel like he heard Takeover and was like, oh, wow.
I bet.
Yeah, exactly. Funk Flex even said, I spoke to Nas about Takeover. Personally, I didn't think that Nas could come back because the vibe I got from him when we were talking about it was that he didn't really want to deal with it at all. I mean, I'm going to give him my personal opinion as Flex from talking to him. I thought that Nas was shook. Ether did surprise me and catch me.
It took so long, and that was another conversation last year. Why did it take so long?
Yeah, exactly. Ether did surprise me and catch me very much off guard. It turned out that he had the balls to say, I'm going to make this record and make it happen. So this is now 2 verses in. He's clearly shown his just confusion on what is going on and why Jay's saying the things that he did. And then we get to the 3rd verse.
And this is why I think Euphoria for me last year, just to go back to last year, hits a lot harder than a lot of what was going on, because it was like, okay, we're getting to I didn't like the racial shit, but I liked the fact that he was getting at his soul. You know what I'm saying? It was getting at his soul, and it was where I felt like Drake could have did a lot better at, is getting into the guy's soul. It was like, what's sad is that I love, or Nas says, what's sad is that I love you because you're my brother. You traded your soul for riches. My child, I watched you grow up to be famous, and now I smile like a proud dad watching his only son that made it. But you can't say that between these two. You know why? Because they're like the same age. Yeah. They're like the same age. Yeah. Like one is clearly aged in terms of like success, where he could say that to Kendrick, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like they're the same. Like, there was no teacher student there. Yeah, it was just kind of like 2 guys that are on the same level, and they will continue to be on the same level. And that's why I think, like, it's like at the end of that beef, I was like, these are still the 2 best rappers that we have. Regardless,
nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Yeah. With this, it was like, okay, now we're having battles against who, you know, what it is.
Who actually is better? Yeah,
yeah, like. You seem to be only concerned with dissing women. Were you abused as a child, scared to smile? They called you ugly. But life is harsh. Hug me. Don't reject me or make records that disrespect me. Blatant or indirectly. In '88, you was getting chased to your building. Calling my crib, but I didn't even give you my number.
All I did was give you a style for you to run with.
Smiling in my face, glad to break bread with a guy. Wearing jazz chains, no text, no cash, no cars, no jail bars, jigger, no pies, no case, just
Hawaiian shirts. Hanging with little chase. You a fan, a phony, a fake, a pussy, a stand. I'll still whip your ass.
36 in the karate class. You tie boho. Trying to work it out. You trying to get bollock? Ask me if I'm trying to kick knowledge. Nah, I'm trying to kick the shit that you need to learn. No, the ether. The shit that make your soul burn slow.
Is it Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy? Oh, I get it. You Biggie and he's Puffy. Rockefeller died of AIDS. That was the end of his chapter.
What? Who is Rockefeller? Like some street nigga? Like
John Rockefeller. John Rockefeller, Rockefeller Center.
None of the famous Rockefellers ever died of AIDS.
Oh, John Rockefeller didn't die of AIDS?
No.
So who's John Rockefeller?
It must have been, somebody thinks it's a Brooklyn hustler named Rockefeller.
Is that what he was reading? Yeah. Let me go to Genius. Damn, Genius don't got it right.
That's what I was looking at. Genius.
Let me see. None of the famous Rockefellers ever died of AIDS. Rather, Jay-Z's label is named after a Brooklyn hustler named Rockefeller who died of AIDS when it was first becoming an epidemic in the black community. From the Jazzo song Love Is Gone, Rockefeller had the crown on the block. Him and Sink getting bent. I was 10 looking at them intrigued. Oh, that's some old head shit. Wow. Yeah, okay. Wow. I always thought it was John Rockefeller. Wow.
Put it together. I rock
hoes, y'all rock fellas.
And now you're trying to take my spot, fellas. Feel these hot rock fellas. Put you in the dry spot, fellas. In a pine box with 9 shots for my Glock, fellas.
Foxy kept you hot because he kept your face in a puss.
What you think you was getting girls because of your looks? Negro, please. You know mustache having with whiskers like a rat compared to beans you whack.
Now that is the line that I knew was.
That hurt him.
Boom.
That's like saying compared to P and D, you whack. Like that. That's
no. I mean, sometimes. Hey, I'm not gonna go. If Kendrick would have said compared to P, you whack.
Compared to Roy Woods, you whack.
Now that. I'm gonna hit the Michael Jordan.
But listening to this, Mark, I don't know if you feel the same way, but doesn't this give you what you felt like you missed last year with that? Like
there were no like these type moments. No, everything was so serious last year. Yeah, like you said, it feels like 3. And it's funny, so funny. Listening to Ether now, I'm just like, this might as well be Melly Mel and fucking compared to the nuclear bombs that were dropped back to back last year. This felt a lot lighter.
Yeah, but I mean, in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's a positive.
It felt like it was rap. That didn't feel like rap to me.
Yeah.
That didn't feel like rap to me. So that's Ether. And from there, Jay Jay was going through stuff. He put out a song called "People Talking"
on his unplugged album.
It came out on radio in October.
Ah, okay.
Or not October. It came
December.
out December. Yeah, it came out December, like a week after Ether. It came out, and niggas wasn't feeling it. There was I remember we did "Hot or Not" on my local radio station.
Yeah.
And they nodded it. They said this was whack. This is not what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, he tucked it underneath. At the time, Jay did MTV Unplugged with The Roots, was pretty big. He did Blueprint, and everybody came through and da-da-da-da. Tucked it at the very end of Unplugged and put it as a secret joint and said, he sees right through you, Judas.
Yeah.
And had a couple of different lines for Nas. Very, very light. It was only like one verse. We put this on all Madden.
Nigga said, "Don't you know that when you're defeated?" I was like, "Don't you know?" Come on, man. There were 3 attempts, I think, that he had to get back
to respond to either.
Nas, and none of them really came out.
People Talking was also the record that he was like, "Hey, Blueprint 2, I'll see y'all in November." Literally previewed the Blueprint 2 a year in advance and said, "Yeah, I see y'all in November." Of 2002, it is December 2001.
December 11th, 2001, Jay releases Super Ugly within the first 7 days. And Jay was forced to apologize after his mom complained about it, and they took it off radio. You can probably find it.
Woke up this morning. Uh-oh. When I hear "Got Yourself a Gun," I also cannot help but just scream "uh-oh." I can't. "Got Yourself a Gun" is great.
Because the "uh-oh" is funny because it's such a meme because Jay thought that this was the one.
the killer?
Jay thought this was the one, and he thought he was doing it.
Do you want to read Super Ugly?
I'll read Super Ugly just for prosperity's sake. It's not a good song. I think that the reaction to this is honestly, truthfully, Mark, what I felt as though people were going to react to last year.
Yeah.
Because I looked at that song as like, oh, this is just super ugly. Like, this is just whack. Like I looked at it and I still feel like it's whack. But really, I don't need the heat. Your heart pump
Project Kool-Aid is sweet.
I don't got a
two-way you gave. This is not beef. This is rap, homie. I don't got a scratch on me. Bro, Jay off. Damn, I'm only worth over 100 million. Look, I got beef. It's like 100
talking money talk. Now it's like when a nigga start bringing up money, it's over. It's
niggas
over.
in pink suits try to get cute.
You out of line, little homie. Don't let the 9, homie.
Put you out the mind,
homie.
Just rhyme, homie.
Kick your little lies. I kick my real facts like you sneaking out the back of the Source Sound Lab.
That was hilarious.
We wasn't chasing you, nah. We had a taping too. We came through
to do our 1-2 thing.
It wasn't a Rockefeller come through thing.
If it was on like that, we would come through Queens with Queens niggas.
You know how.
But Jay was so fucking funny.
He was so mad, bro. Like, he was so mad.
Look, I got more shooters in Queensbridge than you.
Niggas tie you up on a Coliseum roof and open beer bottles off
the boy Chip Tooth. Look here. I got myself a gun.
Listen, I'm J to the A
to the fuck this broad. Nigga never sold aspirin.
How you Escobar?
Now that
was funny. Had to buy your chain back the last time you got robbed.
The nerve of this coward, nigga. Oh my god.
And I don't rap rumors or innuendos. I bring it to where you live. Lift up your window. Let the public peek in. See your dirty laundry. You don't want me to continue.
Oh,
and this is where it gets dumb.
All I really know is your hoe wants to be with me. And she ain't playing.
And again,
and Jay is just cackling.
And then doing the West Coast shit, when again, this is where this really all started, because you really feel like you was on the front lines of East Coast, West Coast beef.
I mean, by this time, he's written for, he wrote Still Dre. I'm sure now you see everything that happened with Pac and Big was like, let's just patch this up. So now he's with Dre.
But again, it's spectacle over content.
Yeah.
Over clear substance.
Yeah.
It was clear in the song, Mark, he had nothing on him.
Yeah.
Other than this.
Yeah.
So he says, verse 3, me and the boy AI got more in common
than just balling and rhyming.
Get it? More in common. I came in your Bentley back seat, skeeted in your Jeep, left condoms on your baby seat. Yeah, nigga, the gloves is off, the love is done. It's whatever, whenever, however, nigga won.
Since you infatuated with saying that gay shit.
Bitch, you was kissing my dick when you was kissing that bitch. Nasty shit. You thought I was boning Renee. You calling Carm hello 100 times hello. I was the hello ad-lib. I was boning her neck.
Boning her neck was also
You got a baby by the bra. You can't disown it yet. Where does the lies end? Where does the truth begin? When does reality set in, or does it not matter?
Gotta hear that your baby mama's favorite rapper.
All right, man. I was like, at that point, niggas was like, the fact that everyone gave this the gas face and thought it was whack says everything about this song. No one remembers this.
And even I mean, like you said, Jay's mom was just like, hey, Head up back in them studios and say you're sorry.
He went on the radio and apologized.
Yep.
For this. So I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Like
you can kind of find the I've always felt like these were fake videos when they have the video of him crying on Hot 97. Nobody has the real audio of him.
He sounded like he was crying though.
Yeah, he's like it's hard, man.
I heard it. He's literally said it's just vulgar.
Yeah, it's hard, vulgar. Man. Yep, exactly. Yep.
So Nas was actually crowned the winner by New York on Hot 97.
Yep, they voted.
And they voted. It was like 51 to 47 or
52 to 48. 52 to 48. Nas ends up winning. So more than half of the city was like, yeah, you caught him. But the vote was Ether versus Super Ugly.
Yeah.
To which made Dame Dash go, oh, that's bullshit. That's a freestyle verse. That's a freestyle versus song. If you would have done Ether versus Takeover, it would have been different. But now it was Ether versus Super Ugly.
Yeah.
Nas still won 52 to 48.
I think he would have still won with the momentum he had. He still would have won.
Yeah.
Against Takeover. I think they were just doing what was most recent. Takeover at that point had already been out for 3 months.
Yep.
To a lot of people, it was where it kicked off. Mm-hmm. So to a lot of people and a lot of people's eyes in that conversation, Super Ugly was Jay's attempt. That was the start, response, and that was the response. So they just judged it off of what was the most recent response. And compared to Ether, Super Ugly was whack.
And there was a responsibility from Hot 97 to be like, listen, we gave y'all moment. We're not gonna ban any of these from radio, but we're also not gonna mud it and just completely run these records over and over and over because this is gonna entice things. So we're gonna let the city vote. Beef is done. Records are done. Y'all go ahead and just continue from there. But from a radio perspective, there was so much more responsibility as that being like one of the biggest mediums to be able to hear new hip hop at the time, to be like, okay, we're not going to repeat 1996. We're not going to repeat 1997. We're going to do this. We're going to let y'all go. We're going to let y'all vote. Whoever won. But then from there, 2002, you have Jay going back up to Angie Martinez and being able to talk, what have you been doing since?
Well, he could come back to Angie like that next time, like, oh, I came off an island.
Yeah. He came from France.
Euro J. He completely acted like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
In December, he wrote it off, knowing that Blueprint 2 was coming and they have more disses on it. But he just acted like nothing was going on. This period of Jay-Z is what maddens me and frustrates me the most about his fans is that they act like he absolutely was unbothered by him losing in his home state this beef.
Or the fact that he didn't sue is like a badge of honor.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Everyone who loses a rap beef, they react in certain ways.
Different ways.
If you call Drake a bitch for what he did, Jay was acting like a bitch for sure for going on fucking Hot 97 and whining about it for months.
I mean, if you've never heard the Hovey's Home interview, I'm pretty sure it's up in full the entire hour with Jay-Z and Angie Martinez.
Yes, just complaining, him saying that he basically tried to say Ether was null and void because it had lies in. I'm like, what about Ether was a lie?
Well, on top of that, he also said, I don't want to be able to make records about each other. We're not going to do records back and forth. How about we just do you and me? A literal, he definitely wanted to fight. He was like, yeah, let's just do, we put gloves on, we donate the money to charity, or we do, $1 million, we do a freestyle, you and me, 1v1 battle, whoever wins. And I think hearing that last year would have been like, oh, he really lost. Yeah. Like he really lost and he just wants to try and make a way to like handle it a little bit better. But truthfully, there was, in my eyes, in 2001, 2002, there's really nothing to sue about because of the responsibility that came from the game to be able to be like, listen, we're not going to mutt this and just completely run this over and over and over. Yeah. Nas is not trying to make this a hit single.
Yes.
It's a diss. He clearly won off the diss, but we're going to just have this moment, let it be that way.
And that's what I don't get. Is that like they left it the fuck alone?
Yeah,
and it didn't live past. Like, obviously, people debated it for years.
Yeah,
for years. This is one of the most hotly debated things ever
in rap. Yes,
in rap. So like, I don't think this is gonna get to that.
Yeah,
is this gonna be remembered for one singular fucking moment that's fucking embarrassing? Like it's on both ends. So let's go to 2002 before we can wrap this up.
Before we do that with the wrap up, anything new that you learned from Stillmatic?
How much I liked One Mic when it came out.
Okay.
Again, I still think the beats were like I don't think this is better than Takeover, but or not take. I don't think it's better than Blueprint, but I will go ahead and stamp it as a classic because of where it was at in the pantheon, in the lexicon of rap. Stillmatic is important. It's important now. It is capital I important, and I would suggest anyone that's never heard Stillmatic to listen to it because it is bringing up everything that we said in this timeline. He talks about on the album. Yeah,
Smoking was my pretty fast skip. You're the Man is just so amazing.
The A. Marie song I skip.
You skip Rule? I don't hate Rule the way the internet hates Rule.
Yeah, I skipped that shit.
Rule was a nice. I mean, I like Tears for Fears a lot. So that's also one thing. You're the Man is just completely amazing.
You're the Man is incredible.
You're the Man is just like, listen, as much as I just kicked this nigga's ass, I honestly didn't expect any of this to pan out the way that it is. As far as I didn't expect to be the top of the game. I didn't expect people to herald me as one of the biggest MCs. Yeah. Exactly. On top of that, I didn't even want it. But now, look, it's here. I'm the man. I'll acknowledge it from there. Follow it by Rewind. Rewind is still so fucking funny.
But again, it like concepts. Like Nas has concepts.
Yeah,
he has conceptual records that sometimes they don't always land. And he's going to continue to do them. Yeah, and his discography, hip hop is dead. He has lots of them. But he does concept tracks, and I think that this one was sort of a miss, but I still enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, Second Childhood was all right. Destroy and Rebuild, I think I gained more credit for hearing it back on this listen. I always knew Destroy and Rebuild. He was dissing Cormega and telling Prodigy get away from his fake friends and stuff like that. But I understood what his sentiment was a lot more than I'm a little bit older. To realize like, a lot of people are dissing Queens. Jay's dissing Queens, a whole bunch of that. We're gonna clean this bitch up. Anybody that wants to try and play the fence and be both sides of it, you can leave Queens. We're gonna be able to create it a lot more different. And now, following that, you have a 50 Cent coming out, you have a Nicki Minaj coming out, you have many different Queens artists that come out that end up following a record like Destroy and Rebuild to be like, we're never gonna have a KRS-One bridge is over moment again as long as I'm here. The Flyest was crazy. Flyest, as much as Nas and AZ sounded great on Flyest, I can't unhear Jeezy off this beat.
I forgot this was on Stillmatic. So when I heard, I was like, oh shit, this was on Stillmatic. But again, it's like, it's flashes of like great beats on this album, and it's like that's an example of it. But it's like it's not throughout the whole thing, and it just throws you off when you get to like fucking Second Childhood or something like that. Yeah. It's like what the fuck made this shit? It's like Nas just notoriously has a really bad ear for beats. Like it wasn't really up there until Kanye started working with him a lot more. So like I don't want to hold it against him too much, but The Flies is probably my second or third favorite song on this.
Second or third favorite? Yeah. And then you have the last three records with My Country. What goes around every ghetto is just him talking about like where we are in the country. This country is screwing us over.
And that was a cadence that Nas kind of carries after Stillmatic. That's like his pocket after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. June 2002. Nas goes to Power 105 to rant about Hot 97 not allowing him to lynch a Jay-Z puppet on the Summer Jam screen. It rants on the current state of hip hop, which then opens up the
Diplomats beef.
The Diplomats beef, the Nori beef. We've talked about that before. I think we'll talk about it again next month.
Yeah, all you got to hear is previously, 2 weeks ago in New York City. Let's get one thing and be creative. I listen to a lot of these records and they're not sounding something, man. Like I listen to what did he say? Nas is a great lyricist, but the album is whack, man.
The album's whack, man.
Nori, I love you. Step your rap game up, man.
I mean, he was right about Nori. Nas releases Lost Tapes on September 24, 2002. A lot of it was scrapped songs from Stillmatic, so a lot of them still have Jay disses on them as well. But 8 Mile soundtrack comes out a month later. Nas and Jay are both on it. Jay's song is like some bullshit. He was in Euro J mode.
What was it? Some miles to go or something like that? I can't remember.
It was like 8 miles and running or some shit like that. And Nas's song is literally called "You Wanna Be Me," and he's dissing Jay on the song. Which is,
Eminem was like, "Hey,
he says that the story is that Eminem rejected 2 of Nas's songs before finally landing on that song. I think a lot of the songs that Nas had were still disses to Jay at that point.
Okay.
And then a month later, it always happens with these two. They're always so close together. November 12th, 2002, Jay releases Blueprint 2, a double disc that was not well received, but it features a lot of Nas disses on there. And his basic... Again, I don't see how you guys can go from how he acted in December 2001 to how he made that album where he's basically blaming y'all for losing. is saying that we didn't respect him. Am I wrong? He's basically saying
he did clearly say y'all cheated.
Yeah, like he's basically saying that y'all like the vote was null and void and y'all cheated. Like he's saying this on Blueprint 2, and y'all are saying that he was unbothered. Like he feels as though he lost that.
Yeah.
Like even though he says he's even if I do lose, it's a powerful lesson to me to lose. I'm like,
when the grass is cut, the snakes will show. I gotta thank the little homie Nas for that though.
Huh? How was he a snake? You snaked him. I'll never understand Jay-Z, bro. But from there, we have Godson in 2002, December again, a month after each other. Nas loves that December date, and you have Last Real Nigga Alive. When Nas I think to me, Last Real Nigga Alive is the epilogue to this beef because it's Nas just saying where he was at, what was going on. We finally learned where he was during all of the beef going on, and you know, it was definitely one of my favorite Nas songs, and but the last line was green.
What was the last line again?
He's I was Scarface. He was Manolo. It's sad that I had to kill it. My man's off for Dolo or some shit like that. Like as Jay was the Manolo, which matches up because Nas was Scarface and Jay was a second in command that like was trying to kind of be the boss at that point. So that kind of put the bow on it, and from there,
well, the bow with an asterisk because a couple months later, Jay goes, you know what? I quit. Fuck y'all. I'm out. End of the year. That's my last album.
Because again, it was the reception to Blueprint 2. Because again, Godson was received a lot better than Blueprint 2 was. I don't think Godson was better than Stillmatic. I don't think it was like the greatest album, but it was still like Nas was 2002, Nas was extremely popular. I think did he do Quick to Back Down that year? Or was it 2003? He did Quick to Back Down.
That was 03, I think. First of all, I'm a Braveheart veteran.
You already know who I'm better than.
You already know who I'm better than. And I always thought, it's been debunked, but I always thought that Street's Disciples cover was a direct diss to Jay because this nigga's in a black hat, the black tee, and I'm like, is that Jay? But then I think that's been debunked. That was not Jay. And then in 3 years, in 2005, we get I Declare War.
Yeah, I Declare War. This happens on October 28th, 2005.
Now, the Nas fan that wrote this, he was clear. The most he ever wrote in this entire episode, he's like, listen, y'all say Nas lost, but this is why he didn't lose. I was like, yeah, I'm seeing it.
It was when Nas signed with Def Jam shit is when like the whole paragraph. But it was one of the greatest, two of the greats. I love going back here. And again, like these albums, they lived or died by the animosity these two had. They lived or died by the beef. And I think that like this definitely lived up to what people wanted. But also just looking at the story, us retelling the story is just like, it's nuts because it all came back front and center on these songs and on these albums. And they're classics. I'm glad I got to like go back and listen to Stillmatic. It's definitely a really fun and enjoyable listen. But also like Blueprint is still one of in my top 5 albums of all time. It's an incredible rap album and one rap album you must listen to before you die. But yeah, that was Stillmatic and Blueprint, the beef that changed hip hop.
Absolutely.
For better or for worse. Next month we got a really good one for you guys. Purple Haze, Cameron. It's going to be an emotional one. That's a long album too, so make sure you're strapped in for that one because it's a long album.
Be strapped in. Pause. Got to make sure Cam hears that.
Yeah, an hour and 20-minute album. I think.
I'm pretty sure he filled up the entire. I'm pretty sure he filled up the entire 80 minutes.
It's a pretty long dicks.
I've been pretty sad. I'm pretty sad today as we talk about Purple Haze. I heard Joel's talk about his drug addiction and be like, "Yo, get off the hamster wheel before it ends." And just hearing the way he slurs in 2025, I'm just like, man, that's kind of sad.
He also said. Math is better than reading.
When did he say that?
The same podcast interview I think you're talking
about.
Did he? He said math is better than reading, and I'm just like I'm like Joel's. A lot of the adult math problems are they're not just numbers; they're actually reading. So,
Joel's, we're gonna do from
this me. Is why we're not.
We're gonna do from me to you, Joel's.
We're not doing from me to you.
I'll call if there's a way to get Joel's immediately. We got to do from me to you, man.
Hell no! But thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Don't Say This Podcast. We have something very special that we're planning right now. We'll announce it pretty soon, so get ready for that.
But the next Don't See This Podcast is going to be special too. It's going to be Spotify Wrapped and Apple Music Replay season in the next week and some change.
And we're going to be talking about all of it if it's not late. So
if it's not, last year it went a little bit into December.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if they stick to when they usually stick to, which is first week of December, which you'll be able to hear from us from then.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back with a lot of content next month. But yeah, enjoy this episode. Get ready for Purple Haze next
enjoy the holidays.
Enjoy the fucking holidays. We're here, man. We'll see you guys later. For MC, I'm J5. Peace, y'all.
Peace.